This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Dolphins to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Fly Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O, no one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to Caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. Invest a little time and save big. Just set the recurring buy and pay, 0 transaction fee after your first purchase. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. It is time to rock and roll. Hope you all are doing well. Sean Stanley by my side, ready to rock, ready to roll. Alarmo is by our side. How about that? Alarmo is ready to go. Alarmo is ready for another fantastic week on the show, which is always ready right there, right? You got the shield ready and all that. We need 5 of those shields to protect Tua this coming season, which would be really, really nice. Anyway, good weekend overall for the sports teams, except for the Panthers, of course. That was a little rough, but I mean, no reason to panic overall. By the way, great news over the weekend. We have finalized our draft party, and it's going to be a 3-day party, and we're going to be at Tommy Rocker's. We were going to do this 2 years ago before the pandemic hit. Now we're ready again to go down there and set it all up. So we're going to be in Vegas for 3 days, covering the NFL draft like nobody else does in town. That's for sure. And so we'll be on. We'll have insiders, all kinds of insiders on the show. We will have all kinds of other friends with us on the show. I'm going to twist Doug's arm to show up, and plenty of other people. I don't know if Doug is going to go out to Vegas, but we'll definitely get him on several times for sure. I'll talk to him this week about that and many others around the Dolphin Nation that you guys know very well. So it's going to be a fun party. It's going to be a 3-day party. So if you're going out to Vegas, all right, we want to, meet you. So Tommy Rockers we're going to have Tommy on Wednesday. All right, we'll bring him on every couple of weeks so we could talk about the event and you guys can, touch base. So if you're planning on going to Vegas, get your plane ticket already. I mean, still very affordable to fly out to Vegas. Very affordable to fly out to Vegas because we've got our plane tickets already. I had to get mine. So, and we got our accommodations. You got to get your accommodations. Accommodations that's a little tougher. We didn't end up getting the hotel deal. We ended up getting an Airbnb instead. So I'd rather kind of stay away from all the craziness all the time. So we kind of get to relax. I don't know, Sean, are you all right with the accommodations? I don't know. I'm just saying you good? You all right? You set? You locked and loaded there for the accommodations? Do they pass the Sean?
I'm going to let him slide this time. I'll let him slide this one time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, Sean,
100% top of the line. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's the only way we do it, bro. No, you got to get back on the screen now. We got to get you back on the screen now because that's all. Besides the fact that we're adding Anthony Chang next week to the program on a permanent basis as one of our insiders with many of our insiders. Next week, we're also adding David Dwork and George Richards, both Panther insiders will be on once a week here. So you'll have 2 Panther reports starting next week also on the show, and exclusive insiders also to our program. So we are just building the family up. So we added a little hockey too. And we're also going to add wrestling. And Sean is one of those guys like myself. We go above and beyond. And Sean is a guy that really understands, what we're doing here. And so he's a wrestling expert. I used to love listening to his wrestling show, and I know nothing about wrestling. And one of the things that, in life, you want to do what makes you happy. You know what I mean? And I think that's why Sean and I fight so hard to kind of do our thing in radio, and we've had to overcome some crap because we love what we do. You know what I mean? And I think it shows every day that we love what we do. And I want Sean to be a bigger part of the on-air stuff also. And he can obviously bring a lot of experience and expertise to the wrestling world. So, Sean, tell him what you're going to be doing for the wrestling fans here on the channel now so they can check it out.
Yeah, well, I guess starting Wednesday, I believe, is what we had agreed on. We'll do 1 hour after. So when O goes off the air, we'll probably do about 30 minutes after, depending on how everything's going. We'll play it by ear on that. We'll do the big O end timetable. We'll go ish. We'll go about 30-ish minutes or so.
Right.
So and
exactly.
then that'll be weekly. But then also starting out, I will go live when the shows end: the Raw, the NXT, the AEW Dynamite, the SmackDown and Rampage, and then also pay-per-views. We'll go live right after, and we'll have we'll just talk it out. We'll see what you guys thought of the show, and more, and we'll go from there. And we're gonna throw out the wrestling content and hope that you enjoy it. And we'll go back and forth. We'll keep it the same way it is here on the show. You hit Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. If you got wrestling questions, just in the
chat board.
The chat board as well. We'll have as well. But just put wrestling question. If you have a wrestling question, you want to send it to the Yahoo account at Big O Radio Show. And then, of course, hit me at Sean_Stanley11. You see it there. Anything you got. And we'll just talk pro wrestling, all of it. Got NJPW also as well. So it won't just be WWE, AEW. We'll look at the Impact. We'll look at Japan. We'll look at some of the other shows that are going on as well. So we'll be very broad on the coverage that we have.
There you go. And so you guys got to support, subscribe, hit the like button, all that kind of stuff, so we could grow that content, and then we can start to bring wrestlers on and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be able to do all of that. So it's really important that if you want it to grow, you got to help support it and hit the like button every time he's on, doing all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really important. So that way we can grow that. So like I told you, we're going to add more and more elements to the show. We're not done. We're not even close to being done. I'm not, we haven't added everything yet. So it's a beautiful thing. So there you go. So there's a lot of things going on with the show that you guys can keep up with, which is a beautiful thing. All right. How about that? So good stuff by you, Sean. Appreciate you as always, my brother. Thank you. So you're going to get your wrestling content now. And we are ready for Vegas. Yeah. New York last week, Vegas in about 2 months. Actually, exactly 2 months, actually. It's funny, I made the post on social media, and Tommy and Hialeah goes, "What's the dates?" I'm like, "Tommy, buddy, we don't create our own draft. There's only 3 dates, bro. You can only go with 3 days." You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lordy. And also, I know that this is a tough time for all of us to be doing whatever we're doing in life. And we see what's going on in Europe over there. And obviously, it breaks your heart, man. It breaks your heart to see what's going on. how Russia's attacking Ukraine, and we're seeing just senseless murder going on, because basically that's what Putin is doing. He's committing murder, and his own people want nothing to do with this. I saw where FIFA, by the way, has banned Russia's name, flag, and anthem in next month's World Cup qualifying matches. The EU has closed airspace to Russian planes. Obviously, they're already, imposing sanctions on them, and it's going to get really, really ugly, for them in this process. But wow, I just and Zelensky, uh, that's a president, dude. That's a president. That dude, to be standing where he's standing and not run and be a president in exile. I would imagine that, and it's that. Listen, while they're going through hell, I don't even know if they find any comfort in it. But the free world is behind them. I think most of us are behind them. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of breaks your heart, because you got to go about life and everything that we're doing, and meanwhile what's going on there, and we know the senseless killing that's going on there, and just kind of bothers you know what I mean? So definitely stand with the Ukrainian people, and it's just a shame that you want to be free, and you've got a tyrant that is. And the worst part is that everybody, the world has got to kind of tread water, because the tyrant's half crazy, and you could stir up World War III in all of this. So it's really, really just mind-boggling what's going on over there in Europe, man. Real shame. But our prayers, and let's hope that we can continue to support them, and let's hope for the best. Somehow or another, let's see if some common sense takes over from that animal in Russia, and he backs out, man. So just tough to watch, I gotta say. While we have to do all of this, you got to kind of compartmentalize, and you got life that we have to worry about while we've got all this stuff going on. No easy way to transition out of it, but our thoughts and prayers are with our Ukrainian brothers and sisters who are fighting the fight of democracy, man. It's an ugly fight that a lot of countries have to have at one point or another when they're fighting whatever type of tyranny or communism or whatever, socialism or whatever it is that they're fighting. All right, Ira Winderman, by the way, is going to join us at 10:30, so we will talk a little Heat basketball with him. We will talk with Alan Poupart at 11:30. The schedule is going to get a little twisted this week. The insiders, some of them are going to be moved around because some of them are traveling to the combine. So the plane and all that, the travel kind of gets in the way of their spot. So we've moved some guys around a little bit. Ira at 10:30 today, Poupart at 11:30, Cameron Wolf, normally on Tuesday, is on today instead at 12:30, and Marcel Louis-Jacques is locked in at 1 o'clock. So we've got our insiders locked and loaded for today. Got a bunch of folks to talk to, and got a bunch of things to talk about, obviously, going on in the world of sports. Remember to smash the like button. Very important to smash the like button while you're watching. Also, follow us on Twitter at Big O Show. Usually find out about a lot of things that happen on the show, or even breaking news, first on Twitter before anywhere else. You know what I mean? So we'll keep adding some other types of elements for breaking news also on the YouTube channel. But everything with time. Okay? Right, Alarmo? Everything with time. So Alarmo's ready. Just call him 1-800-ALARM-ME. He'll take care of you. That's what, at least that's what he's telling me right now. I wonder if he looks comfortable, right? Alarmo looks pretty comfortable, I would say. Sitting up straight, holding up the shield. He's got the fist out. He's ready to knock you out if you get close. I think Alarmo's ready to go. What else do we have to mention? also in the world of sports. Panthers. Let's, a little bit of Panthers. And I know we're going to start getting Dwork and George Richards on next week, and I'm looking forward to that, man, because really wanted to add some Panther segments. We've had the guys on, but I don't like bothering people every week. If I'd rather make these kind of partnerships so that way everybody benefits, and the listener now, the Panther fan can guarantee themselves Panther inside all the way through. But I'll tell you this about the Panthers right now, that they've lost 3 in a row at home. They're in second place overall in the conference. Carolina has jumped them at 78 points, I want to say, and they're 75. Yes, 78 and 75 right now, so they're 3 points behind. Folks, relax. Okay? Relax. They've had a phenomenal year. They're a crap ton of games over 500. You had the break. They didn't come back as sharp. Other teams that you're playing are a little bit more desperate. And you kind of came back like the fat cats that you are right now, because, you're on top of the world and you're one of the best teams in the world, period. And still are. I still think they're the best team in the league overall when it's all said and done. So I'm not really concerned one bit. This team is loaded. You're going to have your ups and downs in a season. It's about time they had a down. It's about damn time. And so I'd rather it be now than the playoffs. This is not going to be something that is long-term. I'll go out on a limb and say this, okay? This is not something that is long-term, ladies and gentlemen. Relax. The Panthers will figure it out. They're so loaded. They're so talented. They can score at will, okay? They'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I know it's frustrating watching them lose to the Oilers 4-3 over the weekend, and just, losing 3 straight. They're off till till Thursday now. So hopefully everything gets back on track with the Senators at 7 o'clock. So relax. All right. And there's no serious issues whatsoever. Now, the one thing also that I have a little concern about, not with the Panthers, with the general public, because the general public in the first place doesn't realize how good this team is. Some people are, and they're starting to get on the bandwagon. But those people that aren't necessarily as educated might get deterred a little bit. It kind of happens with crypto. People believe the FUD and they don't understand it. And since they're not educated with crypto, and they believe something that comes out of an MSNBC article or Fox or CNN or something, and usually those people writing about it know nothing about crypto. But they're talking about this or that dip or this. Oh my God, it doesn't mean the end for crypto. And it doesn't. We're just in the early stages that people don't understand it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, it'll be such a huge part of our lives that you'll be laughing about it like you did everything else. It's just kind of same thing. They aren't as educated about the Panthers. They aren't as educated about crypto. So any little FUD, okay? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's what we call FUD, right? So now there's a little FUD being spewed out there with the Panthers. 3 games, a little 3-game slide in a monster season where they've been the most dominant team in the NHL. Relax. Don't believe the FUD. Just like I tell you in crypto, don't believe the FUD. By the way, I think Bitcoin shot up to hell, dude. I think Bitcoin is up a couple of percents and over. Is it over? Did it get? I think it got over 40,000 already. Yep, it's headed to 41,000. 40,925. It was at 38,000 at 8:40 this morning. I will tell you one more time. It was at $38,001 at 8:35 this morning. It is about to hit $41,000. Crypto's proving its value during the war. Okay? That's okay, coin. Okay? Crypto is proving its value right now during the war. People are donating Bitcoin and Ethereum. Millions have been donated. And guess what? When you got to go through banks and wires, and they go to one bank to another to get international, and everybody's getting a piece of the money with Bitcoin, it's the drop of one button, and in another second, someone else across the world is getting $5 or 5 million or 500 million. Can't do that with anything else. Only crypto, only Bitcoin. And it's proving its worth right now. I'm wondering if that's having an effect. Okay? What happened in Canada? They were closing down the banks, all that. They couldn't get to the crypto, baby. Because they don't own the keys. We own the keys. Our keys are crypto. No one else. See what's going on in Russia? Banks shut down. Lines are blocks long. People are trying to get their money out because the ruble is going like this. Crypto going like this. It's right in front of you. It's staring you in the face. Governments left and right all over the world mismanage money, including ours. Meanwhile, there's only one asset in the world that is climbing in a direction that no other has. Bitcoin. Keep telling you. And what's going on in the Ukraine? Great example. What went on in Canada? Excellent example. What's going on in Russia? Oh my God, what an example. You got 50,000 rubles, but you're only allowed to take out 1,000. But damn, dude, if you had it in your crypto wallet, your 50,000, guess what? You still have 50,000. Russia can't control it. China can't control it. Elizabeth Warren can't control it. Just saying. Wake the hell up. Not a financial advisor, just a dude that loves crypto and understands where the hell the world is going. Protect yourselves. Don't be like the Russians. Don't be like the Ukrainians. Don't be like the Canadians. Protect yourselves. Protect your own money. So all I can tell you, that's your OK coin, Crypto Corner. Let's see. Luke Brown says, I'm not against crypto, but I just can't trust it. Too many pumps and dumps, scams, and other scams out there. I'll stick with cash for now. Yeah, no, stick with cash. Go ahead. Stick with cash. And Luke, that's the problem, dude. You believe FUD. There's nothing. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Pumps and all that. Just go look at the trajectory, my brother. Go look where it was 2 years ago and 3 years ago and 4 years ago, and look where it's at now. Tell me anything else that's moving like that. Nothing. So while there's an up and down, it's still an up the entire time. But believe whatever you want to believe, dude. I can't help you. You know, I mean, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to throw a lifeline out there. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to you all. If you want to catch the lifeline, you can go ahead and catch the lifeline. But when I see thousands of Russians in line at the ATM and they don't have access to all their money, I think crypto. When I see all the Ukrainians want to get their money out of the bank and they can't because they're limited, I see crypto. When I see what happened in Canada and the prime minister shuts down banks and all that, but he couldn't get to crypto, I say crypto. I'm just saying, you know, the dollar goes like this, Bitcoin goes like this the entire time. Gold hasn't changed for 10 years. 10 years. It hasn't moved a bit. Anybody that brags or tells you about gold, they don't even know because they don't even follow. They probably don't even invest in gold because it hasn't moved in 10 years. And in 10 years, you know how many thousands of a percent Bitcoin has moved? Come on, man. So believe all the FUD you want. You know, a few years from now, you'll say, that son of a bitch, tell you, he's crazy, but he was right. You will see. Let's see. How do I buy Ruby? It will eventually go back. What do you think, Big O? You mean ruble? Does OK Coin charge? Yes, they have the cheapest rates, actually. Everybody charges, dude. Everybody charges a percentage when you buy, but OK Coin is the cheapest. Like, you may buy a couple $100 of something from somewhere, and they'll charge you a couple of bucks, like $2 or $3, $4, and an OK Coin will charge you 99 cents. So yes, they'll charge you, but actually their fees are the lowest in the market. Everybody, they have to charge you a service fee, my brother. That's how they make their money. It's in the now, if you buy and sell within your account, you don't get charged. But if you take it out, you get charged. You put it in, you get charged. That's everywhere you go. That's everyone. But the question is, how much do they charge you? OK Coin charges less than others. By the way, if you want $20, so let's say, put it this way, we could share $20 of free Bitcoin, right? So if you're going to get charged, let's say 99 cents, or let's say you make 5 transactions and it's $5. Well, I'm giving you $10 free of Bitcoin. So you're right there, you're getting $10 of free transactions anyways. See what I'm saying? So at OK Coin, there you go. Knock yourself out, man. And the link is below right there. You can hit it. Let's see. Irving says, I love crypto, but at the end of the day, it's fiat currency and it's a global market shuts down or we have massive blackouts on our global electronic grid. It ain't worth jack. Nothing's worth it, bro. What are you going to get? How you get your money if there's a global, like that never happens. But now, Irving, think about this. I don't know how high you are right now at 10:28 this morning. I'm not exactly sure how fat a freaking joint you're smoking right now, Irving Figueroa. Not sure. But at 10:28, hey, man, wow, if there's like this global shutdown, how am I going to get my crypto? How are you going to get in the bank, bro? How are you going to get your stocks? How are you going to ring anything up on McDonald's? Because if there's an electronic shutdown of anything, it shuts everything down. And the only thing you have is a couple of dollars that you have in your wallet, unless you actually store your money in your mattress, Irving Figueroa. But just so you'll know, if there's some kind of electronic shutdown, everything shut down. Money, crypto, stocks, you name it. Oh, and by the way, the power is going to shut down on the entire world. And the beauty of crypto, it is, if it only shuts down in your state or in your country, it's still going on. So you haven't lost anything. It's still there. My Lord, dude. Oh, my God. If there's a shutdown, everything shuts down. How do I get it? How do you get anything, dude? How do you get anything? You think your ATM's going to work, but your crypto bank's not going to work? Yeah. Tremenda turca. All right, let's take a break. really quick here. It's a quick turnaround. Let's get ready for the man, the myth, the legend. That is Ira Winderman. Let's talk a little Heat basketball. Who knows? There might be an electronic shutdown. We won't have basketball either. Winderman next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A-plus rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified whitening contractor. Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
There he is. All I was going to do is turn on the air, Sean. Man, he like went right to the break right away. Man, how you doing, Ira? You doing all right? You feeling good?
I'm doing good. I am getting ready for Hell Week. I am getting ready for, I think, what'll be one of the most interesting weeks.
An electronic shutdown of the world? Is that what's going on? Is that Hell Week?
or facing the Bulls and the Bucks and the Nets and the 76ers. So, I kind of figure if there's an electronic shutdown of the world and I'm on a Delta flight at 40,000 feet, I'm kind of screwed no matter what I invest in.
Yeah, exactly. You're worried about your crypto. You're worried about the damn plane landing. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you there. Yes. No doubt about that. By the way, before we get into the Heat, so let me get this straight. So, Jeremy Lin's the second coming. Julius Randle's better than Bosch.
Of course.
I mean, the Hawks are just absolutely amazing. They're the second coming also. The Knicks last year, they're going to be phenomenal. So
for years to come.
So now the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks. And James Harden he's arrived. He's the Messiah. And the Sixers have found all the answers. Let's just hand them the title. I mean, can the overreaction be any more silly? Does anybody know about the history of the beard? I mean, come on. Happy now. Is he going to be happy a month from now?
You know what? Everyone jumps to conclusions. Everyone wants to be ahead of the curve on everything. Oh, whether it's investing, whether it's sports predictions, and I get that. Just like people are necessarily writing off the Lakers right now, and yet if Anthony Davis and LeBron are together in the playoffs, people forgetting Anthony Davis is not even playing. You can't make assumptions in late February and early March. Matter of fact, I love that we do these Acura Pembroke Pines reports twice a week. We'll also do one on Saturday this week. I love we talk about it, but we all know the playoffs are what define legacy. We all know that that's a different style of basketball. You don't go into a regular season game saying we have to prepare for this specific James Harden, Joel Embiid approach. You say, hey, it's one of 82 games. We got another game tomorrow. We'll play it mostly straight up. We can't change who we are. And every team has their secret plan B packet that they open for the playoffs. I know Eric Spoelstra does. Like you said, we saw that with Jeremy Lin when he came in hot and the Heat said, okay, enough of insanity.
Lock him down.
Until the playoffs.
No, I was just saying that they locked him down on they said, let's play some D on him and let's show him up. But I mean, it's just all of a sudden now it's like, let's put the Sixers there at that spot. And I think they forgot about the media and the fans of that town. I just want to see what happens when things don't go well with Harden and the Sixers for a couple of games and see how they start, acting towards Harden.
And you also have Doc Rivers' very uneven playoff coaching. I know we won the championship in Boston, but ever since then, there have been some really good spots his teams were in, and then his teams were done for the season, and that matters also. So there's a lot of questions here. What I will say is this, just like the week the Heat are facing, the Eastern Conference playoffs will be brutal. And I think when you and I are talking about those series, when I take our accurate Pembroke Pines reports into the postseason, I don't think there's going to be a single Eastern Conference playoff series that won't be compelling, that won't have a storyline. It'll make it all the more special. You can concoct a Heat playoff run where they have to go against the Nets in the first round and the 76ers in the second round and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Or I can give you a pathway where they play the Hawks in the first round, the Cavs in the second round, the Bulls in the East Finals, and I feel a lot better. It's all about matchups. And until we know the matchups, it's really hard to make forecasts.
How about this? The storyline for me, how Eric Spoelstra is, we might as well give him coach of the year already. For me, he won it already because I was looking at this. They're 40-21, right? Yeah, 40-21. So they're nearly 20 games above 500. They have not really been whole a lot yet. And yet, in the process, he's also developed 4 young guys and prepared them to make his team deeper than any of us ever expected or ever imagined. And now you've got Lowry again out for personal reasons, and prayers to him and his family, because obviously it's something serious.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing right now, is that Lowry has, gets some kind of closure and peace of mind there so he can do his job professionally. So let's hope for the best for him and his family right now in that situation. But what Eric Spoelstra has done, I think, goes under the radar around the NBA with media and fans. I think coaches realize what that man has done this year and how he has developed 4 names that nobody knew. And all of a sudden, you've got this massive bench. I can't say enough about this might be his greatest coaching job ever.
And yet, you also have to look at the field and give respect where respect is due. Tonight, the Miami Heat played the Chicago Bulls. For the last month, it's been Heat and Bulls at the top of the East. Chicago's been without Lonzo Ball. Chicago's been without Alex Caruso. They lost Nikola Vucevic for an extended period when he had bad COVID. What Billy Donovan has done and the way he came to Chicago should not be overlooked also. And the other name I would throw in there is Taylor Jenkins with the Memphis Grizzlies. No one expected them to be this good. John Morant, remember, had a serious injury. He missed extensive time, and they never lost without him. So, again, when people, whether it's Heat fan or someone else, you don't have to denigrate or minimize Eric Spoelstra, what he's done, to also appreciate what some of the other coaching jobs have been.
Sure.
And the other name I would give you would be J.B. Bickerstaff and the Cavaliers, because Big O ain't none of us at the start of the year said, better watch out for the Cavs. They could have home court in the first round of the East. There's some really good coaching jobs done. And if you look at all of these guys, they're low-profile guys. They're not the kind of guys who go out and seek the limelight. They don't make themselves the story like some other coaches do. They do their job, they do it professionally, and their satisfaction comes from victory. So we're seeing a lot of that. Eric Spoelstra absolutely right up there. If the Heat finish first in the East, has as compelling a case as anybody, for sure.
I love what he has done this year, man. I think his job has been just absolutely phenomenal. The Duncan stuff continues, my brother. It's just
uneven. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just no, it's unacceptable, actually. When you got the contract, kid. I mean, you worked for this. This is it. You got the contract that you deserve because that was the market. But you now got to continue to do what you were doing to get that contract and maybe even play better. Well, he can't even live up to what he did to get that contract right now. There has been zero consistency from his game all year long. Now, the question I have for you is, he can screw around with this, and I'm talking about Spo, for a while now. But, push is going to come to shove now in the next couple of weeks here at one point or another, and when Oladipo comes back, who knows? Things start to
Yes.
change, rotations start to change. So talk to me. Has the fuse started for Duncan Robinson? Does he have to, start performing, or he's going to see himself on the
I think
bench
it's
now?
the reasons you mentioned, because even look right now, with more players coming back, with Tyler Hero back and Caleb Martin back, Max Strus didn't play on Saturday through no fault of his own, because you can
Right.
only play 9 players comfortably. So, Max Strus, thank you. God bless you. I think the real, and again, like you're saying with Victor Oladipo, if he's going up to Sioux Falls like he is right now to get more 5-on-5 work, he's close. Because you don't travel half a country into the dead of the winter in South Dakota to get your workouts unless you finally want to get that last view, 5-on-5. How does he look? And the reason, Big O, for that is this. The Heat did not practice yesterday after a back-to-back. They decided not to hold a shoot-around this week with such an intensive schedule. They probably won't practice tomorrow before they fly to Milwaukee. So there is no 5-on-5 work here for Victor. That's why he went up to Sioux Falls. But yes, he's getting closer. Markieff is getting closer. The other part of this equation is this. Teams are hunting Duncan Robinson on mismatches. We saw that in New York with the early foul trouble, the 3 in the first quarter. We saw that with San Antonio trying to go at him. And there's been no answer there. And for a team that bases so much on their defensive precepts, to me, unless you get Duncan Robinson right on that side of the ball as well, and all we're looking at right now is the three-point shooting numbers, that's a concern also. So look, Max Strus did nothing wrong, but the competition caught up to him. And when it comes to winning and go time and playing for a championship with 35-year-old Kyle Lowry and 32-year-old Jimmy Butler, the Heat aren't waiting on anyone. They're going to put their 8, 9 best out there in the playoff rotation. And if it's not Duncan, it's not Duncan, or else they'll Luke Babbittise him, and he'll play the first 5 minutes of each half to see if he has it going, and then see ya. And we've seen that in recent games as well.
Tyler Hero, man, he has been just absolutely on fire. I mean, you always expect Jimmy, and you love what you're seeing from Bam right now also. But man, to have that guy off the bench and to be able to count on him the way he's been producing, it's been a beautiful thing to watch.
And it's been necessary the last 2 with the really
Yes.
craptastic starts they've gotten off to. 10-0 down in New York, 12-2 down against San Antonio. So many people, I know you deal with this in your chat session here on YouTube and other places. Why aren't they starting them? Well, there's a reason you have a 6th-man award. There's a reason you put people in the best position. If you and I were to list the 5 best Heat players this season, Tyler Hero would absolutely be in that group. But that doesn't necessarily make him a member of your starting 5. And Eric Spoelstra has gone above and beyond trying to not force him in there. For example, tonight with Kyle Lowry dealing with that family issue, he won't be there. I am sure we'll see Gabe Vincent start, so you can leave Tyler Hero in his 6th-man role. Teams have thrived in the playoffs with having a defined 6th man. It's interesting. You open our segment here in our Acura Pembroke Pines report about Eric Spoelstra, Coach of the Year. I'm not so sure. You can check the line maybe when you get a chance between your breaks, that there's not more of a favorite for an individual NBA award at this moment than Tyler Hero versus the field when it comes to the 6th-man award. So look, it's working. Don't change it. It has been necessary. Tyler time is like that wake-up call. It's like me twice a week at 10:25 in the morning. The phone goes off. Hey, I got to do the Big O and the Acura Pembroke Pines report. You know it. Tyler's the same way. 5 crappy minutes of start. No worry. Tyler's coming.
Hey, 2 words for you. Manu Ginobili.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how important it is that Popovich says, you're an all-star, probably a future Hall of Famer, but I really need you to come off the bench. And by the way, to Ginobili's credit, he was the ultimate pro, never said a word about it, where we know that lots of players would have bitched and complained because they would have taken that as an insult. And to his credit, he understood what Pop wanted to do, and that was a spark for the Spurs for years to come.
And same thing, it reminds me of Michael Cooper with the Showtime Lakers, the same thing.
Right.
Give me an energy guy off the bench. Interesting about Manu, he only made the All-Star game twice, both times when he was a starter, but people inside the game knew what made him special in that 6-man role. The Heat got that right. That's a position. You know what? Oh, it reminds me of the NFL when you had a straight defensive alignment and then you saw so much more nickel and so much more dime, and you realize you had to load up on those defensive backs because it would become your base defensive formation at times also. Your sixth man is the same thing. Eric Spoelstra has his lineup card. I've got to take out Kyle here, 8 minutes into the first quarter. Jimmy plays the whole first quarter. PJ comes out here, and Tyler goes in here. That's as scripted as anything the Heat run in the first quarters and third quarters of games.
Bam, folks talking, or we're watching. Are we watching him take another step?
It's interesting because fans want that. And I sometimes I come on here to be a contrarian on purpose, and I will in this case. It is all well and good when you do it against Mitchell Robinson. It is all well and good when you do it when Jacob Poeltl is out against the Spurs. This week, to me, if I'm circling a day for Bam Adebayo, it is Saturday night, FTX Arena, Philadelphia 76ers, and Joel Embiid. Because if Bam Adebayo can't stand up to the challenge of Joel Embiid, you're going to have a hell of a problem in that playoff series. And it's not like Dwayne Dedmon's going to save you. So I love that Bam is smart enough to realize, hey, I got these guys on me against New York and San Antonio. I'm going to work. But I'd like to see it a little bit more against Embiid on Saturday. A lot of guys do it against lesser guys. If you're going to be that primetime all-star level guy, you have to do it against maybe the possible NBA MVP for this season. So for me, Bam, circle the calendar date would have to be Saturday against the Sixers.
All right, Saturday against this. Yeah, that's where you want to see the heavyweight matchup with Bam and with Embiid. That would be actually fantastic. All right, anything else on the injury front? What do we know about Markieff Morris?
Probably a little bit farther behind in this overall curve than Kyle Lowry. But again, this is more getting approval from a team of doctors, including NBA doctors, that his previous neck injury, this current neck injury, there won't be any adverse effects when he comes back. The NBA does not want to see a player laying on the court. We know going back, in a horrible tragedy, Eric Spoelstra was on the court during that college game when Hank Gathers, when they were, I think it was at Loyola Marymount's gym that it happened. So the NBA doesn't want that. They're being careful. What Nikola Jokic did was exacerbate a previous Markieff Morris injury. Markieff Morris insists he will be back. Word inside the Heat is he will be back. It's taking some time. We're going to hit go time soon enough. But the fact that he traveled to New York on the previous trip for a one-game trip was highly encouraging. He was with his teammates. They're working him back into the mix. He'll be here not as soon as we thought, but soon enough.
All right, one more thing before I let you go, and going back to Depot. Have you spoken to any ex-coaches or anything like that and asked them, so if they do bring back Depot as a coach, what's the ideal time for you? How many games do you think you need to kind of get him acclimated and you as a coach get a feel for him with the current team and how to use him? Have you been able to do any of that kind of stuff?
Yes, and everyone's pointing to one thing. After this 2-game trip to Milwaukee on Wednesday and Brooklyn on Thursday, the Heat have a stretch where they play 10 of 11 at home. Okay. Acclimating on the practice court, in the gym, with different combinations. You can't play games like that during games. You're trying to win. You're only a game up on the Bull in the East. But the fact is, real practice time is at hand. That's when the acclimation comes. That's when Eric Spoelstra can say, okay, Vic, go in there with Kyle. Okay, go in there with Tyler. Go in there with the second unit. Hey, you know what, Jimmy? Step out for a second. Vic, run with the starters. That's when they'll get a sense. This schedule has worked out perfectly for the Heat. They've stayed afloat during this ridiculous road-intensive start, and now you have this homestand like I have never seen before at FTX Arena, where there will be ample practice time. Oh, that's when they'll find out what they have. This is really coming together perfectly. Vic is just about ready to play, is getting his workouts in the G League, and then he'll have almost a month straight with no travel and plenty of gym time. And you'll still have 10 days in April for the regular season. And remember, with the play-in round, if you're a top 6 seed, you get a full week off. You play Sunday, April 10th. You don't play again until Saturday, the 16th at the earliest. There is plenty of time to make this work. Might not have been what you wanted for as many games, but he's a veteran. Spo's a veteran coach. There's ample time here.
I know what's going on here. Nobody's kidding me here, Ira. I know what's going on here. They're slow walking this thing. They're allowing the Bulls to get in the mix. So that way at the end of the year, oops, we ended up at number 2. Bulls, there you go. You could deal with the Nets at number 8. Go ahead. Knock yourselves out.
And you might be
here.
And you might be right, but like I told you, there are far easier paths to the NBA Finals than some other paths in the East. So it'll be interesting to see if there can be that, or if it's so tight and so complex, you won't have. Remember, team goes into the play, and you have no idea if they're going to be 7 or 8.
Right,
when the regular season is over, 7 plays 8 in one game. The winner of that is the number 7 seed. Then 9
so you're
and
saying
10
fall
play
to
a game.
3. So what you're saying is fall to 3 now.
Unless the Nets make some dramatic move when KD will be back, I believe, Thursday against the Heat. So, and then I think Kyrie, with all these rules and everything, probably in about a week or so, Kyrie will be cleared full time. So if the Nets think they're as great as they are, like you mentioned with the Sixers at the top of our segment here, and they can run the table, look, there's not a lot of great ahead of them. There are 5 teams in the mix. Boston's been okay. Charlotte's really been struggling. This final 6 weeks or so is going to be really interesting.
Follow them on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. More importantly, please subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel like I and so many others do. Support our local media. Although on this show, we support our local media a lot more than normal people. That's for damn sure. Ira, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Talk to you Wednesday for an hour on our Schloman's Home Security Report with Clay Ferraro. And then
Alarmo's ready.
And then comes Saturday, the Saturday special with Big O, and we'll get ready for that big Sixers game and talk about the week that was. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Big O.
Thank you, Ira. Appreciate you. That's right. We have a different schedule this week. We have a Saturday show. We're going to be out at Caneswear on Saturday from 11 to 1. We're going to be doing a 2-hour show leading up to the signing, the autograph signing from Tyler Van Dyke. So the quarterback will be out at Caneswear. And so Ira Winderman will be joining us at 11:30. Joe Shad will be joining us at 12:30. On Saturday. So we've got guests, we got a show, we got 6 days a week this week. Yeah, we like to work on this show. We actually, we figured, okay, Tyler Van Dyke's going to be there, right? So let's do the right thing here, man. Let's get it going. Tyler Van Dyke said, let's go. Let's be at Caneswear. And sure enough, that's where we're at. We're going to be at Caneswear, baby. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I just noticed that that Alarmo is like right above the logo. You got the Inter Miami logo in the middle, and then you got the Sloman Shield, and then you got Alarmo. I did not how that worked out. I did not even plan it that way. But we'll take it. We'll take it for sure. I like that. Not bad. Let's see what else. What are you saying? Oh, play to lose in the NBA, but NFL players only play to win? Exactly. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're setting it up. Okay. Mob Rule says no, Irving. Not all investments are equal. An investment in retail like Walmart is for the dividends, not a speculation. That's the stock price will keep rising. Let's see what else you guys got going on here. PFT's Mike Florio cannot stop with the Watson in Miami. What are you going to do? When you're wrong, you got to try to justify it and all that. What do you have that they wanted Brady and Sean Payton now? It's like a tabloid, really, is what it is. It's really not, it's a tabloid. It's not really actual news or whatever, but I mean, people got to, go buy it. So go ahead. If you want to buy that stuff, you can buy it. I'm talking about like believing in it, buying, not buying. Okay. But if you want to do that, knock yourselves out, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's like there's the path has been set, has been talked about. The plan is there. The plan was always, by the way, always to load up the picks and then use the picks and the cap space to build around the young quarterback before you have to give him the money. And so you have to get rid of the idiot that can't build an offense and can't, build around the quarterback. So now you get a coach that you hope can build around the quarterback and get it, because now you're running out of time. But, if you actually had a real head coach that could get a real offensive coordinator and a real O-line coach, you know what I'm saying, and a real quarterbacks coach, maybe Tua would have more progress by now. Maybe the offense would be better by now. But because you had a coach who had remedial skills at putting together an offensive staff, you have set the franchise back for 2 years. And the front office said, enough's enough. We have to pay this guy in a couple of years. And at this pace, we can't pay him because we don't know enough. So let's fire his ass and build a real offense around him, because we have all the money and all the picks. So now we can do it, and we can measure the kid and find out and feel better about it. And that's the plan for the next 2 years before they have to pay the freaking kid. But if you kept this moron around named Brian Flores, you would have been sabotaged, because he would have never built the offense. You would have never found out about the quarterback. You would have never found out about your offensive lineman or offense or anything else, and you would have been dead in the water. Meanwhile, idiots like on Pro Football Talk continue to talk about a quarterback that was really never in the plans. It was only in the plans because the guy that was a head coach never wanted Tua. He wanted someone else. Not going to tell you who, unless you want to drop $1 million of Bitcoin in my Cash App. Can't tell you. So that's it. Okay. Hey, listen, I'll lower my demands. 999,000 in Bitcoin. Okay, there we go. Lowered it. That's all. Do that and we'll tell you. Frankie Fresco says, Big O, what did you think of the numbers that TD, Finn, and Dougie spoke about Tua, like his low percentage on his second reads? Frankie, here's my problem with all of this stuff already. And this goes for everybody out there, whether you like Tua or you don't like Tua, whether you believe in Tua or you don't believe in Tua. I don't believe anybody hates Tua. That's a silly word. Okay? It's impossible to hate him. Like Tim Tebow. You either believe he can play or he can't. You can't hate Tim Tebow. You know what I'm saying? Just can't. So, same thing here. So I understand those of you that don't believe in him, don't think he's a good quarterback, don't think he's talented enough, don't think he has a good enough arm. Here's my problem, dude. You can come up with stats all you want, and I can spin them in a positive way, in a negative way, all that stuff. I go with the eye test. Okay? I see a kid that can be one hell of a quarterback, but I'm honest enough to know he's not Marino. He's not those guys that, sheer will and ability like Russell Wilson will keep you in a game, sometimes win you the game. That's not necessarily who he is. He's the guy that's got to be complemented with a proper running game and proper coaching, and he can be an elite guy. He can be a top 10 guy easily in this league. Okay? Now, he's not a freakish athlete that is going to be carrying you. He's not the guy that's going to throw 80 yards downfield. That doesn't mean that you can win that way. Okay? Because Jared Goff has got all the ability, and so does Jeff George, and so did Akili Smith, and so did Jamarcus Russell, and I could just go on and on and on and talk about all kinds of guys. And you can talk all you want about Matthew Stafford. And he won there with the Rams. But having said all that, he still wasn't that impressive in the Super Bowl, but he was complimented. So he did enough to win. Tua could easily do all those things. But you could come up with whatever stat you want. His completion percentage on deep balls is one of the best. On second reads is one of the best. On first reads is one of the worst, or this or that. And we can make arguments and all and statements and say that this proves that he's good and this proves that he's not and this and that. You're going to believe whatever the hell you want to believe. Okay? We're in a world where you got a bunch of people walking around thinking some election was rigged. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Georgia and Arizona, all eyes were on there and they lost again and again and again and again. But you can't convince the ignorance of anything else because that's the world we live in. Okay? People are going to believe whatever they want to believe, even though it goes against all the facts. Right? Zero facts about a rigged election. Zero. But yet you got a whole bunch of people still believing that stupid ass thing. Just the way it is. So you're not going to convince the people that don't believe in Tua. Tua's going to have to go out there and just ball out and win. And when he does that, that's when those people will be convinced. So you can come up with all the stats you want and all the arguments you want and discussions. The line in the sand has been drawn. Those that don't believe in Tua, they're not changing, and you're not changing it in an off season where there's no games being played. You're not going to unearth some stat, some game, some highlight that all of a sudden is going to change anybody's mind about that young man. Either you believe in him or you don't. The only way it's going to be proven is when he goes on the field. So the stats don't matter. It's now up to Mike McDaniel to build the team, build the coaching staff, teach the kid, give him the opportunity, and then now he has to go out and shut people up or prove some of us right. Either way, prove us wrong or prove us right, or the doubters, prove them wrong or prove them right. That's it. No stat is going to convince anyone of anything. Hour number 2 is next. All right. And in hour number 2, Alan Poupart will join us at 11:30. Sean Stanley is mastering this program every single day, and it's brought to you by EJD Construction. Call Eric 305-433-4843, fully insured, liability and all, folks. Professionals all the way through, not a handyman. But if you're looking for maybe an extension to your home, you want to improve that man cave, modernize that kitchen, you call EJD Construction. Hey, they are a AAA rating member from the Better Business Bureau. Call Eric right now. Tell him that Big O sent you. 305-433-4843.
Doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at flpdjobs.com. That's flpdjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of fantasyxs.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by HialeahParkCasino.com. Enjoy simulcast racing, dining, a magnificent poker room, and a casino with the most popular machines on the market. OKCoin.com. Download the app on iOS, Google Play, or Windows. OKCoin.com with over 50 different coins and incredible staking rewards. Pallet Rack City. There's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. Invest a little time and save big. Just set the recurring buy and pay, zero transaction fee after your first purchase. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Right, here we go. We're ready for hour number 2 of the program. Barney, your ice is about as thin as it gets, my brother. Okay? So, when I'm talking about stuff, don't play the other side with me because that doesn't work. So you put, if you can't see or already know how bad Biden is, then you're just not aware of your surroundings. Barney, I've talked about this many times. You listen all the time. I'm not on either side, bro. I'm not a Biden guy. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not sure how many times I have to repeat that, but you're on more than enough. So the next time there's a stupid statement by you, you're history. You're gone. You could call it your opinion. I call it stupidity and ignorance. You call it your opinion. I call you stupid and ignorant. Are we clear on that? Got it? Okay? So it's up to you now, bro. Pretty simple. That's it. No more. Over. Yeah, one guy says, I must have already blocked him. Yeah, well, you probably did good. He's not even on secret probation. He's already got the cuffs on. Put it that way. Just like there, just a letter needs to be out of place. Not a word. A letter out of place. Done. A letter. So, historia. All right. Anyway, what else do we got going on in the world of deportes? Some good news for the Dolphins. Ali Marpet has decided to retire. And I told you guys this about like a couple weeks ago, right? The exodus is coming. All right? As my man Bob Marley, exodus, movement, culture, people, right? They're moving, baby. There's going to be an exodus out of Tampa. I was laughing last week when Bruce Arians is trying to defend Blaine Gabbert, but he's saying, well, Blaine's never played with a team this good. And I'm sitting there going, Bruce, you think your team's going to be the same team from last year? They're leaving, dude. TB12 is gone. If TB12 is gone, people are leaving. They're not going to stay there. What are you, out of your mind? And here we are. Ali Marpet, who's only been in the league 7 years. And this is something that is a new now, right? The last, like, I would say about 5, 7, 8, 9 years, we've watched people retire from the game early. They've made enough money. If they take care of their money, they don't need anything and they move on. So and this for me, Ryan Jensen, as you all know, I've talked about Ryan Jensen 1,000 times here on the program. I don't know if he's a free agent or not, and maybe I'm wasting my time. That's why I haven't gotten too much into free agency. Ryan Jensen I have because I just think for Tua, it's so important to have a center. You gotta have a nasty ass center for Tua. And I would love to get Ryan Jensen, man. I just think he would be absolutely perfect. So I hope that this Ali Marpet thing is something that now is extending into, the rest of the team and other guys like, well, Marpet is better than the other kid that I like. Oh, damn it. What's his name? Alex Kappa. And I like Alex Kappa. I think he's solid, but Marpet is a stud. Like Marpet and Jensen are like freaking studs. Wow. By the way, Stadium is now reporting the vision for the future of the franchise of the Miami Marlins is different than the one I signed up to lead. Derek Jeter announces he is stepping down from the Marlins CEO position. Wow. I got to tell you something. It means nothing to me. This does nothing for me because they've accomplished nothing. So I didn't see him do anything. In the end, until you spend, you're not going to be competitive. Now, I don't know what this means. Did Derek Jeter say, well, it's time for us to spend, and Sherman and company weren't ready to spend? Look, hell, we're not even ready to play baseball, right? They haven't even come to an agreement yet, right? If I'm correct. I think by this afternoon, if they don't come to agreement, don't they what's it called, cancel the start of the season, I believe, if I'm correct. And let me look here on ESPN. Yeah, no, I don't see anything for baseball. They're far apart as the deadline looms is the only thing I read. So now to hear that Derek Jeter is stepping down, it does nothing for me. I don't care. It's not a loss because you haven't accomplished anything. Put it this way. If Bill Zito would step down, oh shit. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like if Bill Zito says, yeah, no, the vision of Viola and Sifu is no longer the same vision I share. I'm sorry, Panther fans. I need to step down. I'll lose my lunch. I'll be pissed. Seriously, what does it do anything for you guys? Let's be honest. I'm not a Yankee fan, so I don't care about Jeter in that sense. I love Jeter the player. I love Jeter the professional and how he carried himself in baseball. All of that is to be admired. Super clutch. There's nothing not to like about Derek Jeter the player. Okay, fine. We must compartmentalize. That's the Yankee stuff. That stuff there. I don't care about any of that stuff. That does nothing for me as a Marlins fan. Sean Stanley, sir, do you have something?
Well, no, but the one thing that does worry me with the wording, and again, and I get it, baseball's very low on the totem pole right now, is they were starting to build their minor leagues to feed the major league company. Whose vision was that? If that was Jeter's vision and that's not what they're going to, then we just got Luria 2.0 right now.
Well, we were going to be Lorio 2.0 until we see them spend, my brother. So it doesn't matter.
Ultimately, but at least you're building something in the minors.
You could load your team up with all the pitching that they have, which has done a great job. And with that pitching, you're going to be able to get some hitting also. But until you spend, you're never going to be competitive.
Yeah, but at least you were building something in the minors, though. You had something possibly to look forward to. Before, you couldn't make trades. You couldn't do anything because you had nothing. You weren't paid. You had no talent. You were.
No, I get it.
We should have been regulated.
I get it, but the only difference where I disagree, where you and I are going to go like this, we don't have anything to look forward to until you spend. All that stuff for the minors and all that, we've accomplished those things many times over. Loaded minors and minor leaguers coming up and all that kind of stuff. I need to see you make a difference with the major leaguers, not the minor leaguers. I know you're going to have to go buy some pieces. Did Derek Jeter want to go buy the pieces and Sherman said no?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. What vision are we talking about? What happened all of a sudden that they went like this? I don't know.
Well, I guess if we hear Kim Ng drop out now, we probably will know, right?
Yeah.
Because she had a very proactive approach to what needed to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I have no idea.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's no baseball anyway, so.
But yeah, God. And I want baseball back. I don't care what I know a lot of you don't care about baseball. I want Marlins baseball back, but I want an owner that wants to win. You know, Remy LeBeau says Lorio 2.0 for sure. Well, you know, one of the things that I was worried about is when you have 15 owners, and I talked about this when they first bought it. I like one man, one woman, one family, maybe two guys that are filthy rich, you know, but that's it. I don't like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, 15 in this case. That tells me you don't have enough pockets for one person. One person should have, you know, 1 or 2 people or a family should have enough just to write a check all the time. That's the kind of that I'm just not big on that, man. I'm not big on that. The minor leagues is where the Marlins have to draw from a small market team, just like Tampa does every season. Mark, that doesn't mean anything, my brother. You still have to spend. Tampa and Oakland, their problem is they don't add money to money ball. And that's what Theo Epstein said. Hey, yeah, I like that money ball stuff. Now I'm going to add money to it. And he went with Boston and the Cubs, and he eliminated 200 years of losing. Okay? So I disagree with you 1,000%. If you think what Tampa and Oakland are doing are things to be like held up as something proud, no, it's not. It's embarrassing. Tampa and the A's are a disgrace because it's weak ass ownership that doesn't support good baseball people. So your baseball people are doing the job, but you won't spend the money to finish the job. That's that. I look at Tampa and Oakland completely opposite that some people do out there. Oh, they're phenomenal. No, they're a bunch of jackasses. They're a bunch of freaking clowns in Oakland and in Tampa. They should have a few titles. Hell, you know what I would do if I owned a shitty baseball team? You know what I would do? I would steal their entire personnel department and go win a championship or two. That's what I would do. Ukrainian President Zelensky has signed a request to join the European Union. How about that? Wow. In real news, the Marlins were dead to me the day they traded Miguel Cabrera. I don't blame you. Simon, You know, can't blame you, bro. Dougie Fresh says, "Oh, used to live in Oakland and was a season ticket holder. You nailed it. A team with ownership that sells to fans how they get players on the cheap." Yeah, it's disgraceful. What Tampa and the A's do is disgraceful. You have the baseball people and you don't support them. You make them put a team together every year with Scotch tape and Elmer's glue. It's disgusting, dude. What goes on in Tampa and in Oakland? It's sad for those fans. You're right there, man. Spend a couple dollars, dude. Drago says, Big O, all we've ever have as baseball owners were just scammers. I'm over baseball. I even hate hearing talk about it and switch to ESPN when it's commissioner because of that. I don't blame you, dude. Ron says, good morning, Big O from Northern California. Good morning, Ron. Kyle says, did you guys see that story of the Ukrainian fighter pilot flying around Ukraine, taking out Russian fighter pilots? I have not, but more power to him, bro. I hope he's shooting all of them down, those bastards. Big O, any signings the Finns made you like so far? Free agency hasn't started, my brother. It'll start 8-9 days or something like that. I gotta look it up. But yeah, a few days. Then we'll get to start doing something there. Oh, when a CEO for a baseball team says they agree to part ways mutually, is that just to tempt down the fan base from attacking the owner? Anthony, at this point, I have no idea what to think. You know, I have no idea. I'm wondering, this is what I'm wondering, okay? Can I play guess what's going on here? And you know what we're going to do? We're going to get somebody on. I'm going to work on something here at the bottom of the hour and see if we can get something on here. But here's what I'm thinking. Are you all ready for this? This is for those of you that even give a shit, but I'll take 1 minute of your time on this, okay? Here's what I think happened and why Derek Jeter stepped down. Are you ready? Derek Jeter said, hey, I'm with it. Let's build it up. Let's build up the minor leagues, load up the minor leagues. You've done it for 3 years. I think Derek Jeter wanted to start spending money. And I think Sherman and company weren't ready to spend money. Well, Derek's not the one with money. So why would he step down? Oh, no, we're not ready to spend money. You guys want to spend? No. Let's keep going the minor league route. You think Derek Jeter is going to keep saying that? Doesn't make any sense. Now, it makes sense that after 3 years in, loaded up minors, Jeter's saying, okay, it is time to go out and buy a couple free agents. That's what we used to do with the Yankees. We had our core, and we went and added to the core, right? That's what they did. Well, now you've got your core. Hell, we got a nice little rotation here with the Marlins. Really nice little rotation. Okay, there aren't too many teams that have a better rotation than the Marlins. Young rotation. That rotation is, and they've got a couple of other kids. So here's what I think happened. I think Derek was ready to spend money, and they're not. And those of you saying Loria 2.0 like Sean, I think you guys are right. Ladies and gents, I think you got it right if you're saying Loria 2.0. And that's what I'm thinking right now. And if the rest of this offseason, whenever it starts up again, whenever they agree, whenever these idiots agree to a dying sport to finally play it again, which I love to watch and I want to support them. But if they don't spend, you got your answer. You got your answer. I doubt Derek Jeter is saying, no, guys, don't spend. We're not ready yet. We need a couple more years. I doubt that. That pitching staff is ready to get supported. And so far, the moves that they made, minor league. Nothing that, oh my God, they got a star. So there you go. All right. That's what I think happened with Derek Jeter and company. Big O, open your Rolodex, my brother. Big O can be super polite. Yeah, unless you're an asshole. And then I'm no longer polite. See, the beauty is if you want to be an asshole, I can be a bigger asshole. That's really what it's all about. Now, if you're cool, I'm going to be cool. Oh, that makes a sense to a certain point, but I think Bruce Sherman probably saw what happened with the previous owner still owing money to big money contracts to Giancarlo Stanton. Well, that's because he didn't know what to sign and didn't sign the right team. That's why. That's his problem. And listen, you shouldn't be worried about your contracts if you know who to sign and if you have money and you're not penny pinching like that. Then you shouldn't own a team. If you're penny pinching, you should not own a professional sports franchise. All right? Penny pinchers are not there to compete against billionaires. You know how you're supposed to be? Oh, we screwed up? All right, dude. Well, we'll get them next time. Let's go. That's what it's got to be for a billionaire. Oh, my God. We made a now this locks us up for 3-4 more years. We can't make a move for this guy or that guy because this money's tied up. Then you got the wrong owner, man. You have the wrong owner. Sorry. That's not the owner you need. Let's see. Big O, what is the ideal contract you would give Gesicki? Because Alexander, there's no reason to talk about that. The question is, does he fit the scheme? Does he fit what they want to do? Are they willing to work with him to try to make him a better blocker? Because he has not proven that he's willing to be a nasty blocker. That's the thing. It's not that the guy will catch anything in the middle and take a hit, but that's different than getting there and getting physical with somebody. And unless he's willing to do that, I don't know if he has a future. The number doesn't matter, my brother. It's about the scheme fit. Do they feel that he can become the blocker they need? If he can, then of course they're going to keep him and give him a contract. But if they don't feel he's got it in him to be that blocker that they need, they're going to move on. The numbers have nothing to do with it. The numbers will be the numbers, and Greer will negotiate a contract, and he'll try to always make a friendly type deal and all that kind of stuff. That's neither here nor there. The real question is, does Mike McDaniel feel that this young man has a future in his scheme? That's the question, not the money. Money's for the Marlins. That's the question you got to have and the concern you got to have. I went to so many Marlins games at Joe Robbie Stadium. I live in Coral Gables and have not stepped foot in the Marlins park. They are dead to me, says the greater good. Damn. Hunter Butler, by the way. Oh, you know what? I just saw it. I just remembered you sent in a super chat. Thank you, sir. Jeter just stepped down from CEO. You put in there. Thank you. I saw the super chat, and now that I forgot to mention it. So thank you, Hunter Butler, for the super chat. I appreciate it. So we'll see. Big O just tuning in here. Reports are saying that the Dolphins made a play for Sean Payton and Brady. My problem is it comes from a website that really just throws a bunch of crap out there all the time, dude. So it's really hard for me to believe anything that site throws out there. That's the thing, dude. Most of the stuff they throw out there is inaccurate. So it's hard for me to go with it. You know what I mean? I don't do a radio show where I have to kiss his ass and, in order because, if not, he's not going to come on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. I have a hard time. And in the end, does it all matter? Mike McDaniel's here, dude. not Brady. Mike McDaniel's here, not Sean Payton. So who cares at this point? It's just stupid talking points. You ended that same site ended up reporting Watson all year long, and he had, oh no, they could trade him with the 2 weeks leading up to the start of the season, and then he revisited it leading up to the trading deadline and never happened. So believe whatever you want to believe, my brother. Okay. I think McDaniel can scheme the hell out of Gesicki. I hope so. Chris Greer should have traded Gesicki this past summer. Like I said, could have gotten a second rounder. Now he walks as a free agent and they get nothing. Well, they will get a compensatory pick if he signs a contract. But, I mean, if he signs a big contract, they'll probably get the third rounder of compensatory pick, right? So, I mean, let's not leave out the facts. They will get something. Now, could they trade him maybe? Or could they sign him for a year? Yes. But they will get compensatory pick. And he's a second-round pick, so I would imagine it'll be at least a third rounder is what he's going to get. Gesicki can be Kittle 2.0. No, I don't think so. No. He'll never be the blocker. Kittle has it in him. He's that dog that wants to beat you on the line. Gronk was like that too. I saw Gronk throw defensive ends to the ground. You don't teach that. That's not taught at all. You either have it in you that you want to be a son of a bitch or you don't. And Gesicki has never proven when he lines up to block that he wants to beat your ass. And that's what Kittle and Gronk did. Well, Kittle's doing now and Gronk did throughout his career. They lined up in front of you and said, I'm beating you. Not, hey, let me try my best. Let me get in front of you. Let me try. No. No. Those mofos looked at themselves on the line like they were an extension of the offensive line. There's an attitude that comes with it. You cannot teach it. No coach instilled that in Gronkowski. No coach instilled that in Kittle. That came with them. That was with them from when they were kids. They developed that knack that they were going to be an SOB. Gesicki is not that guy. Now, Gesicki will take hits in traffic. He'll catch the ball with one hand with a screwed up shoulder. He's a tough SOB as a pass catcher. But he never has ever played the line like Mark Bavaro did or any great blocking tight end that I've watched my entire life. There's just a different human being when we're talking about people like Kittle, Mark Bavaro, Gronkowski. It's just a different being. I can't explain it, but it's like a caged animal. That's what those three dudes are. And they want to win the blocking as bad as they want to catch the ball down the middle of the field with a safety about to hit them. They get the same high from that. Okay? When Mark Bavaro lines up in front of you, he wants you to fear him in every way possible. Gronkowski, Kittle, same thing. When they line up in front of you, they want you to question yourself. Can I get to the quarterback? Not whether I can cover him. No. Oh, this guy's a bitch. He's not going to let me get easy to the quarter. When you line up in front of Gesicki, the defensive end's going, he's looking at him like Fred Flintstone looks at a brontosaurus burger. So I hope I'm clear enough on that. You don't teach what those men possess. Gronk could be an option for us. No, Gronk's done, dude. He's only in the league because of Brady. He's gone. He's history. Don't even bother. That's silly talk. I understand the blocking aspect. Why give up on such a talented athletic weapon like Gesicki? Do we want to add offensive players or keep our best? Ray, I don't know what the hell they're doing, bro. I don't know if they're keeping him or not. All I'm telling you is that he doesn't fit their blocking scheme. So I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they think they can make him a blocker. I'm not sure, dude. I have no idea. So let's wait to react after we find out what happens. Let's not react on something that we have no idea that's happening. All right, let's go to Alan Poupart, baby, and our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get ready to talk Dolphins football. It's the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. With locations throughout South Florida, Sports Grill is the home of the special grilled wings. Check out our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road in 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Alan Poupart.
Poupart NFL. He is the legend. He took off his glasses. He's locked and loaded and ready with his Spose hat. You agree you can't teach nastiness on blocking? Either you have it, either you're a son of a bitch or you're not on the line. Correct? Right?
You're a dog or you're not. And yeah, let's appreciate Mike Gesicki for what he is, which is a great receiving tight end who will go up and make the tough catch and absorb the big hit, which has happened a couple of times the last couple of years. You're looking for a good inline blocker to help out in the running game. That ain't your guy.
So, coming off that conversation we just had with the listeners, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how to react. One guy's already freaking out, but, he doesn't, when you look at the logic of it, he doesn't fit what they really want to do. So, they will get a compensatory pick if he signs a big deal somewhere, which I'm sure he's going to sign a big deal somewhere. But what are your thoughts? What do you think? Do they hang on for 1 year just to kind of test it out because they don't have enough weapons? Or do they say, no, we can go find another weapon, we'll be fine, and we'll take the compensatory pick? How do you think this ends?
No, they have a lot of options here. And the idea with the compensatory pick, it also applies with the overall. The formula is so complicated. It's like I looked at on the NFL operations manual, and it's like it's not clearly defined. It's basically, it's so complex how it works out. And there's also
It's
crazy. There's also
formula,
a net game.
the formula you're saying how they give it to you. Yes,
correct. And it's also like a net gain. So if they wind up signing 7 free agents and they lose Gesicki, they're not getting anything for Gesicki. So, but here are a couple of options. As they could tell you, he's not expensive on the tag if you want to keep him for 1 more year. As you mentioned, if you want to buy yourself another year to see if Hunter Long actually was the dude you thought he was when you picked him in the third round, mind you,
or you experiment with him as a big ass receiver. Let's be honest. You and I, we're old enough, dude. Montana's receiver, tight end, wasn't a blocker at all, dude. He was Mike Gesicki. Actually, I know it's high praise for Gesicki for me to compare him to Jones, right? I think was his name,
Jones.
right?
Brent
Jones, right? So Jones was a phenomenal receiver, not known as a blocker at all. It was kind of, so if you're going to run a West Coast style of offense in a way, you can find a role for Gesicki, right?
No, you can again, but here's the thing: is how many tight ends are we going to have on the roster again? Are we going to keep Hunter Long in mothballs again this year? I can't help.
Maybe he's the inline guy, and then the other guy's the off.
Well, here's the thing: to me, when they drafted Long in the third round, I couldn't help but think that it was done with this offseason in mind when they knew they had both Smythe and Gesicki as UFAs, and I'm not so sure they don't like Smythe more than they like Gesicki, because Smythe is more well-rounded and he's dependable as a pass catcher, even though he's not gonna do a whole lot down the field. But you want to throw a 5-10 yard pass to your tight end, Smythe's very reliable. He's going to catch it. So, but again, if you wanted to see if Dolphins saw a full year of practicing from Hunter Long, we didn't. All we saw was training camp and preseason because we don't get to watch practice in the regular season. I'm going to assume he developed nicely, and they haven't totally changed their mind on him after a year watching him in practice. But to me, again, to keep him in mothballs for a second straight year doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, you could, having said that, the tag for a tight end is, I think it's around $10 million, which isn't a ton. So they could tag and keep Gesicki for another year. They could tag and then see if they can work out a trade for Gesicki, which they've done before. See what they can get for him, because there are some teams out there who certainly could use a good receiving tight end. So he does have value there. But I have a hard time. I think I have a hard time seeing the Dolphins coming back with, again, Gesicki, Smythe, Adams, Shaheen, Seaton, Carter, and Hunter Long.
And here's the thing. Excuse me. Here's the thing that we don't know. Like behind the scenes, this might have been Flo going, yeah, no, let's get this Hunter Long guy. I watched him at Boston College. He does more of what I like. Gesicki's not that guy. Maybe with the coach in place last year, that was already the plan, that they were going to move on from it. The real question now is, what is this coach thinking? Does he say, no, I want to revamp the tight end room this way, and you know what? I've got a mad scientist role for Gesicki that I'm going to use. That's the unknown, my brother. That's correct. The part that none of us can answer, unfortunately.
No, correct. We can go what logic would tell you, and we can go right. This would make some of the most sense, but correct. Yeah, like you said, Mike McDaniel very well could be going, this is what I can do with my Gesicki. You watch how I use him against.
He can be a mismatch. I mean, seriously. I mean, he's a mismatch against any safety or linebacker that has to cover him. They're like, oh, crap, I'm screwed. You know, because all you got to do is play alley-oop with the guy, and you'll have I mean, really, he's actually a slightly faster Rondé Gadsden. You know, you could kind of do the same things you did with the Rondé that you could do with Gesicki in a way, right?
But if you remember last year, there were a few games where he got completely taken out of the game based on how defenses were playing him. So, again, there's limitations there. Obviously, if he was an uncoverable guy, if he was strictly a receiving tight end, but he was uncoverable, we wouldn't be having a discussion of whether he'd be back. I mean, he's very, very good.
What you're saying is he's not Darren Waller.
He's not Darren Waller. Correct.
You and I were thinking along the same lines.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's scary. Yeah, that scares the hell out of me, actually.
Yeah, it should. You should be concerned, bro. You should be big time concerned there. All right. Yeah. So, by the way, unfortunately, I will not be with you this year. When are you taking off to the combine?
I am leaving tomorrow afternoon, landing early tomorrow evening.
We'll be there with you next year. Budgets and all will be ready to go for next year. We're already set for the draft. We're in Vegas
nice.
For the draft.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll be there. We're already set for that. But yeah, by next year, all these trips will be norm. Back on target for the East-West and the Senior Bowl and all that good stuff to get it all back on track. So, all right, good stuff. Free agency. Who are you expecting the Dolphins to lose outside of Gesicki that we talked about?
Landon Roberts, although is that no offense, but is that really lose? No, I think they're going to wind up finding a way to keep Agba, whether it's tag, even though that's expensive, or a new deal. I think he's too important to what they do defensively for them to even think of letting him leave.
And it helps you in your development of Phillips, because he needs, if you lose Agba and then say the market's kind of dry and you don't end up with another defensive end and you get a young guy or whatever, then all of a sudden all the pressure goes on Phillips and you got to worry about him and you don't worry about the other side. With Agba, that immediately opens it up for Phillips, and they can complement each other right away. I think it's really important to keep him for both guys, actually.
No, I mean, he's the second best player on defense behind X. I mean, I don't think there's even a question about that. So there's no way you let him go. The other one, I'd like to see them keep Matt Collins. I don't think it's a slam dunk, but I'd like to see them keep him. And I know you would too. Nick Needham's an RFA. I don't think he's going anywhere. The Dolphins will just put some kind of tag on him that gives them a right to match. And if some other team winds up, signing him to an offer sheet, I would suspect the Dolphins will match. Outside of that, the Dolphins have 26 total free agents, 20 UFAs, 6 RFAs. There's not a whole lot of other ones that really jumped out. I mean, Will Fuller's not coming back. I'd be very, very surprised. Outside of that, there's not that many big names. Duke Johnson, one that you'd like to see the Dolphins re-sign, but like guys like Philip Lindsay, Duke Riley, Brendan Scarlett, those are guys I think maybe you revisit in the second wave of free agency if you need some depth signings, but they're not like priority guys like Agba and Needham, those types of guys.
All right. Middle linebacker, since you're headed to the combine. Dolphin fans, what middle linebacker should they be looking at here in the first couple of rounds? Is there a thumper out there that can go sideline to sidelines?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of really good players. They're not going to be there at 29. That's the problem. The kid Dean from Georgia is fascinating to me. And then I just saw I liked him to begin with, and somebody basically compared him as a blitzer to Zach Thomas. And you're going to throw out that name, sign me up. Devin Lloyd, the guy from Utah, is another one. He's one. I for some reason my man crushes in the drafts the last few years have been like those do-it-all linebackers, off the ball do-it-all linebackers, like Isaiah Simmons 2 years ago. Absolutely loved him. Zaven Collins last year from Tulsa Dolphins. I'd like for them to get one of those guys. Devin Lloyd's going to go way before 29. He's another guy I really like. I haven't really dived into everybody else who's out there, to be honest with you. So I can give you more names than that. Those are the two guys who jump out. Unfortunately, again, where they pick at 29, then it becomes a little bit more dicey in terms of getting a real quick impact kind of guy.
All right. I mean, the site throws out a bunch of stuff that usually is, they're just fishing. But are you believing any of the reports of Sean Payton and Brady?
Well, I'm like you. It's one of those it doesn't matter now because it's after the fact. I honestly, I don't know. I know, listening to you before I came on, I know you were poo-pooing all the Deshaun Watson talk throughout the year. That was it didn't materialize. That does not mean it was not happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure Flores is the driving force of it. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Stephen Ross loved Deshaun Watson. Big O, you gotta accept that. Stephen Ross loved Deshaun Watson. That's a fact. And the fact that it did not materialize because he wanted all of the lawsuits to be settled. That's why it didn't materialize. That doesn't mean that the whole story the entire time it was happening was bogus. It wasn't bogus. So
but it would then continue in the offseason. It has not continued in the offseason.
Well, because now again, there's still no clarity on this situation. There will be teams that might make some moves for him. His lawyer says he's expecting a decision one way or the other, whether there will be criminal charges by April 1st, at which time then you would expect something will happen. So, and again, if you know Stephen Ross, you know that if somebody gets in his ear at the right moment and tells him the right things, he's going to go with it. It's very possible that at the end of the 2020,
he's going to try to get.
I'm talking about Deshaun Watson again. That at the end of the 2021 season, somebody got in his ear and told him, "Listen, we need to go with Tua. Tua needs to be our guy," and that's what's been out there, and that's what the driving force. And as far as Sean Payton is concerned, I don't know. I don't know why he would put it out there.
Every name that's out there, we get tagged with it. Like every time, every name that's out there. No, the Dolphins want Brady. No, the Dolphins want Russell Wilson. No, the Dolphins want Aaron Rodgers. No, the Dolphins want. It's like every name we get out there. Any kind of name that's available, that site ties it to Miami.
Well, because he knows that Stephen Ross likes shiny objects, shiny toys, which you
True.
can't deny. And the Tom Brady thing, Tom Brady apparently is friends with Bruce Beal, who's the owner and waiting for the Dolphins, and they're building this big ass, ridiculous mansion on Indian Creek. And I'm sure you're familiar with Indian Creek.
Of course, I have a house next door.
You too? Yeah, that's where I live too. I'm in my second home here, and then
I see it from my second floor, right over there. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I mean that's some real estate over there. So, so that's why there's a logical connection with associating Brady with the Dolphins.
Okay, all right. What are you working on in Sports Illustrated? So folks
Everything
can
and
check
anything.
you out.
Combine preview. It's going to be mostly combine stuff, mixing a little bit of whatchamacallit, free agency as well, and whatever news breaks, we will be all over it, analyzing it, breaking it down.
Did McDaniel get hurt when Wilkins squeezed him there over the weekend?
We'll see him at the combine, so we'll find out. I think he survived it. I mean, Wilkins got to realize at some point, dude, chill. Love the
excited. All he does is injure people, bro. It's just like, damn, bro. Somebody have a talk with Christian Wilkins, bro. Let's go.
Although they were quick. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Preston Williams who told me he was very quick to shoot down the notion that it was Wilkins who hurt him when he suffered his foot injury when he scored a touchdown in Arizona in 2020. And based on what I saw of the play too, that happened when he was tackled in the end zone, but that's neither here nor there.
It's crazy. All right, man. Follow him on Twitter at PoopHeart NFL and bookmark his page there at SI for Dolphin fans. It is a must read at least 86 times a day because that's what he gets, about 86 articles a day. Poopart, we love you, brother. Safe travels. We'll talk to you later in the week.
Sounds good.
There you go. Alan Poopart, baby, in our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
This has been the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report with Alan Poupart, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and never miss a report. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Visit Sports Grill in our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza.
There, as Greater Good says, the UN delegates from Europe are roasting Putin. The world should be roasting Putin. Piece of crap. Piece of garbage. That Putin doesn't deserve to be even living, my brother. Okay? He's a war criminal right now is what he is. Tommy B. Butts, baby. He'll kick Putin's ass. Damn right. If your roof is on fire, you need to replace that roof, right? So you got to call Tommy B. Butts. If your roof is leaking, you got to call Tommy B. Butts. If you're about to buy a home, call Tommy B. Butts. If you're about to sell your home, call Tommy B. Butts. Man, check that roof out. Make sure everything is right. And they specialize in all kinds of roofs. So call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises. That's the website. Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. The number 954-735-9826. That's 954-735-9826. Highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics, folks. Licensed and insured. All work is fully guaranteed with you, the customer's complete satisfaction, and you're going to love it. And Tommy is a great dude, great family man, great supporter of the show. Support the people that support our show. AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Great company overall. And by the way, each of their previous customers, you have an opportunity to enter into their bi-weekly drawing to receive a free exterior impact metal door. So call for more details, 954-735-9826. Fix that roof, improve it, prepare for hurricane season. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. By the way, they're also a Y green contractor. So if you're looking to be a little bit more green, you want to use more solar energy and things like that, Call Tommy B. Butts, Y Green Contractor. All right? So there you go. All right? That's it. The greater good loves the old school. The roof is on fire. Who doesn't? Big O, what do you think about the rumor that Cristobal and Jason Taylor are working on a deal to bring Jason to the Canes coaching staff? How can it hurt, bro? Talking about Jason Taylor, we're talking about one of the best human beings you'll meet, a man's man, a pro's pro. That's the kind of people you want around your kids. What a staff that Cristobal has put together, man. God, it's awesome. It's awesome to see the University of Miami football program getting this. You know, we just talked about the A's and the Rays, right? Great baseball people that get no support. Well, we've had some coaches, they don't get, well, now this coach is getting the support they need. This coach now has the budget that they need. They've got the boosters like Mr. Ruiz and Mr. Moss and others that they need. You know what I'm saying? So this program is finally getting the things that Ohio State has had for 40 years, that Alabama's had for 100 years, that LSU's had for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? That Michigan has, that Texas has. All these schools have had all of these advantages over Miami forever without NILs. Now that NILs are in, Miami now can compete with them because they finally have the people that are stepping up, including the program, to spend some money. And it's what we've talked about for many years. I swear I never saw this coming. Never, ever, ever, ever did I ever imagine that this program would spend this kind of money. So Jason Taylor, of course they'd bring him on. They got the budget. And Mario Cristobal is given every opportunity. Mario, by the way, is also given zero excuses. So while he's given every resource, with every resource erases every excuse. All the excuses that others had, they're all gone now. Can't talk about the facilities. Can't talk about NILs. None of that. You got the stadium. I don't care about on campus or not. That's a monster stadium. Hard Rock Stadium is beautiful, dude. Kid walks in there and sees that stadium, and it's like, wow. And on game day, it looks great with the Canes. So you got everything you need. Now you've got to go out there and get it done. So I would not be surprised if they bring Jason Taylor, and I think it would be a phenomenal, because Mario's the same as Jason, just great people, dude. Great human beings. You want your kids coached by a Mario Cristobal. You want your kids coached by a Jason Taylor, because these are good men. These are men that are going to show your boys how to be men. And they're I mean, come on, dude. Is there a better example than Jason Taylor and Mario Cristobal on how to carry yourself, how to be a pro, how to be a player, how to be a human being? Doesn't get any better than those kind of guys. Those are impeccable people, man. So it's great. I hope they're able to bring on Jason Taylor. What a staff, man. What a staff. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch these Canes. Joy Taylor, the only reason to watch the herd. Well, what you do is you just turn off the volume. That way you don't have to hear the turd. What else do we have? That's just wrong, too extreme. Why are you taking shots at Joy Taylor, bro? You're not into the thick women. Okay. She's still incredibly good looking, bro. She's still a beautiful woman. Now, you know, some of you out there aren't into the curvy girls. Some of us are. You know, I think she's just as attractive as she's ever been. But, but I'm Latin, so I don't mind curvy women. You know what I mean? So I'm good with that. What else do we have here? And you know what? What's most important is Joy happy. And if she's happy, then that's all that matters, dude. No reason to take a shot at her physically. That's wrong, dude. Let's see. She takes shot at my Dolphins. Yeah, your Dolphins aren't a human being, bro. It's a football team. So, but anyway, if she's happy, then more power to her, bro. She looks great. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, we've got okay. So first it was, I talked a little bit about this with Ira, right? And this whole thing with the Sixers and Harden, it's such a joke, dude. They beat the Knicks, they beat the Timberwolves, and it's one media member after another. It's one talking head after another. It's fans getting crazy about this. And Philly fans they're brutal. I want to see some struggles from this team, and I want to see how Harden handles it, right? Because everything's great right now. Everything's always great. Harden is that friend of yours that gets married like 3, 4, 5 times, and then he's telling, oh, yeah, she sucks, dude. Yeah, no, she's a bitch. Oh, she cheated on me. She doesn't really love me. She doesn't bang me. Whatever. There's always some excuse, and he keeps divorcing them and divorcing them and divorcing them. At one point or another, you got to go, yo, dude, you might want to look in the mirror. That's James Harden. James Harden keeps having a divorce after divorce after divorce. Wasn't it Harden and Westbrook? How about Harden with OKC and all the young cats? So everywhere he goes, it's the next place. Oh, it's great to have James Harden here. And then all of a sudden he wears out his welcome and he's gone. And he's off to the next place. And the next stop is the greatest stop of them all. I mean, give me a break, dude. I'm supposed to buy this. Yeah. No, and Atlanta last year was the second coming. How are they doing this year? How about the Knicks? They made the playoffs last year. Oh, yeah, they've got such a bright future. Yeah, hey, Tibbs. Tibbs is going to get us going, man. Yeah, Tibbs is the guy. We finally got a coach. Tibbs. So now Harden and Joel Embiid, that's it. You're ready to go. You're going to win a championship. I'm trying to remember all those times that Harden stepped up in those big championship-like moments, those conference-like moments. Yeah, there's so many of those memories of James Harden being, clutch in those moments. Just so many. Yeah. And Julius Randle's better than Chris Bosh. What do you go, 2 of 15 the other night against the Heat? That's all right. He had 8 assists and 4 turnovers. Don't worry. I mean, he's way better than Chris Bosh. Whew. Man. It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's take a break. Give me a couple minutes. We get ready for hour number 3. Sean Stanley is driving the program. Hour number 3 of the Big O Radio Show is next.
Welton Rayum has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayum can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayum can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A-plus rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified widening contractor.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by EJDconstruction.com, where you can trust their team of construction experts. American Dream Lending. Go to adreamlending.com. Stop dreaming and start living your best life. Perdermo Cigars. Experience a Perdermo way. Go to perdermocigars.com.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. Invest a little time and save big. Just set the recurring buy and pay, zero transaction fee after your first purchase. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, it's hour number 3. By the way, Andre Fernandez from the Miami Herald is about to join us now any second here. He's going to pop in and give us a little love. We're going to talk a little Derek Jeter, since he is covering the Marlins for the Miami Herald. He is going to be kind enough to join us in a minute here, and we'll talk with him about this Derek Jeter mess, and we'll get his thoughts on what he thinks is going on. I told you what I think it is. I think Derek said, all right, we did it. We loaded up the minors. It is time to take the next step, time to spend some money. And so we will find out. We will find out here if that's the issue or not. Andre follows it more than any of us, so he knows. Folks, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Very important for you to smash the like button, just like it's really important for you to have those 2 golden capsules from Nature Bee every single day. Nature Bee is for me. Go to naturebee.com. The link is below. You can use my code Big O so you can get free shipping, 1 month, 3 months, doesn't matter, whatever pollen you want. Load up on it. By the way, I want you to also check out the lip balm too. The lip balm is awesome. Check that out. Check out the soaps. They are fantastic. The soaps they smell so good, man. They are good. I'm about to bust this one open because I'm running short of the ones I have in the shower. But anyway, so get the soaps. There's so many different items that they have there. But I tell you all the time about the power of pollen. It's all natural, grown straight out of Mother Earth, baby. All right. In clean, green New Zealand, too, on top of all of that. And it's great for the kids. It's great for the adults. It's great for everyone. The power of pollen, you feel it every day. The energy is flowing. My favorite part is boosting the immune system. We live in a virus-filled world, don't we? And we're trying to protect ourselves as much as possible. You might be boosted. You might not. You might be vaccinated. You might not. But either way, you need a little extra protection. Those 2 golden capsules will protect you, baby, from all the wheezing and sneezing and coughing and all that nasty stuff that goes on in your office or on an airplane or anywhere else. So go to naturebee.com, check it out, order the 1 month supply, order the 3 month supply, better deal, and get free shipping with Big O, baby. 27 vitamins and amino acids, 28 minerals and antioxidants. Get it, baby. You'll see your nails will grow stronger. Your hair will grow longer. It is naturebee.com. All right. We promised you we're going to talk a little baseball, and my man Andre Fernandez from the Miami Herald is always locked and loaded and ready to go. Andre, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, Big O? It's been a while. How you doing?
Oh, man, yeah. It's been too long, my friend, but it's great to have you on. And it's sadly, it's like a twisted story here. I don't know what the hell's going on. That's why I figured we'd get you on, because you follow the Marlins closer than any of us. And by the way, you can follow him at Fernandez Andre C on Twitter if you want to follow him there and catch his work there at the Miami Herald. Andre, walk us through here. We got kind of taken by surprise. Derek Jeter steps down. My guess I threw out there was, all right, fellas, we did it. We loaded up the minors for the last 3 years. We're set. Time to make some moves and spend some money. And Sherman said, huh? Money? What? Huh? No money. So you tell me what's going on.
That's kind of what it sounds like. It's the story behind the story. You know, the revenue issues. You know, it hasn't come out. No one's going to set it yet, but I'm seeing some of that. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is the year that going in, it was like put up or shut up time. Like now, after all the prospects, all the loading of the farm system, all of that, I see. Yeah, exactly. Like this was the year you had to see. Well, you still do want to see results, like real results, not a few more wins. I mean, they had the playoff year, but now when you look back on that, a lot of that was COVID, shortening the season, everything, all of that. And a real, actual 162 game season, taking a big jump, whether it was a playoffs or looking like you actually had a real shot at the playoffs. And his contract was coming up anyway. So again, like you said, it was probably time, and it's going to be interesting to see now the way things are run going forward.
Well, this is why I've always said, don't be judging Kim Eng unless you give her a checkbook. Okay, right. Leave the woman alone. All right, let's look at this fair and square, and let's treat that woman with fairness here. In baseball, you know, I was actually talking about this in the second hour, I think, or in the first hour. Like, to me, the A's and the Rays are a joke, because you've got great baseball people and you don't support them with a couple of dollars. Like it's baffling to me. It's like it's like Theo Epstein said, "Hey, yeah, you know that Moneyball thing. I like it. I'm just going to add money to it. That's all. That's what we'll do with Moneyball. We'll add money to it, you know." And so, while people are impressed with the Rays and the A's, I'm more pissed at them than anything else, because it's like, dude, you got the baseball people that can win a title. Give them a couple dollars, please, so they can buy a couple of guys and put them over the top. And
look at the Dodgers to them,
right?
If you only had even half of that,
right? They don't even need half of that to get over the hump.
Right.
Those teams. I mean, the Rays compete in the most brutal money division in baseball, and yet, it's just frustrating. And I love what the Marlins are doing. I love their arms. I love their rotation. I understand that they've got even more arms in the minors, which, if you're smart, that'll buy you some bats. And I've said this from the get-go, Andre. They are either three teams. You either are going to be the team that doesn't care about winning, or you're going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers and all that, which we know they can't be. Or, interesting, I'll use this finger, you are the middle, where you're the 03 Marlins and the, 15 Royals or whatever, 14 Royals or whatever, that you caught lightning in a bottle.
Right.
With all your young guys hit it in 1 year. You sprinkled in only a couple of veterans to it, and you got it. You won your title, and then you lost your team in free agency eventually because they all need to get paid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're either trying to be those three teams, is what I think.
And if you remember, they built this entire thing on the premise that they weren't going to be that flash in the pan team that they've been in the past. It was going to be the word over and over was sustainability. Okay, I mean, you've built a foundation. Is it the one that's going to take you places? This was the year to kind of find out that. And now he's gone. I mean, again, it's one of those things where unless, like you said, unless moves, I mean, again, you don't have to be the Dodgers, but you can be the
They'll
Rays.
never be the Dodgers, and we know they'll never be the Dodgers. Come on.
But most teams aren't. Most teams aren't, and most teams can get away with it. You're talking about the Royals, but also look, I mean, we're talking about the Rays. Yeah, they haven't won the World Series, but they've been pretty darn close with the little bits that they have. I mean, you can be closer to that if it's done smartly and done the right way. And that's what we've been waiting to see for, what 4 or 5 years now. And again, I keep saying this is the year that we're supposed to find out. And unfortunately, now we got the lockout going on, but eventually when things do get going, that's where it has to happen.
Andre, do they get it, bro? That the sport is falling down on the totem pole more and more every year. Lockouts, dude. You're going to actually miss the start of the regular season? You mean pitchers and catchers aren't reported already? I mean, do they have any awareness of where they're at in the world of sports and how baseball is like it's like it's circling the drain? I don't think they get it. That's the sport that's not growing at all.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I think in some cases, I wonder if they don't. I wonder if they really don't at the top in certain people, because like you said, it's a shame to see because, when we were younger, baseball was still big. I mean, it was like, must see in the playoffs and during the season, we would watch games. We'd get excited. I grew up collecting baseball cards because I love doing all that stuff. You don't, and for a long time, that's been that problem where you don't see their biggest names marketed as well as they should be, and not even close to the way the NFL does.
They're not even on social media. They're
right.
Soccer, basketball, and football. All those players are on social media constantly.
Right. Well,
they're all selling themselves and products and all that, and we don't see anything in baseball, dude.
Yeah, very, very little. And it's almost like it turns into almost like a niche sport where you see it on the MLB network, and that's fine, but you don't see it on the broad stage. You don't see it mainstream as much as you should for a sport that big.
It's crazy, dude, that the MLS is growing faster than Major League Baseball. Come on, dude. That you never saw. Hell, even hockey has found its way to start growing back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After they fell to the ground pretty badly, and now they're making their way back in a way, and yet somehow or another baseball, and it pisses me off too. And the Marlins piss me off a little bit now because you have a nice little foundation right now, and you follow it more than we do. They have some players in the minors that they can still trade to go get some bats to really bring some balance to this team if they want to.
Yeah, they're heavy on pitching, like you said. I mean, they're still, if you look at them now, the one thing which in a good way and a bad way, they're still loaded, but then you also see where if you look at their farm system now, a lot of it is all the teenagers again, all the kids that are like 3, years away. And then like I caught myself the off season going, where did the first wave go? With the exception of like maybe 3-4 guys, let's say, like a Jazz Chisholm or a couple others. Right. I'm like, this was already, the pieces were supposed to be in place at the major league level, but there is a solution if you can maybe trade some of those that you're saying, the excess arms. But I mean, again, I just don't. We'll see. I mean, it's still, to me, to have a drastic jump from you're still like a 60-something win team, which is bad. Let's just say how it is. That's a bad baseball team.
Yeah.
To jump from that to let's just jump from that to 500 for starters, and then from there maybe a playoff team. You were supposed to be at that first step already, kind of, and you're not.
Right.
And that's what concerns me, going into the season, because this again. The big year where teams usually in this type of a rebuild make the jump, a big jump.
I'm with you there, Andre. They're fortunate right now because there's a lockout, so nobody's talking. When do we get it? And Jeter has never been a guy that says anything negative about anything ever in his life, so we can forget about him saying anything about what's going on with the Marlins behind the scene. Which, by the way, he probably signed an NDA also on his way out. Just so you all know, this isn't just a Brian Flores thing. This is a corporation thing that goes on. So I'm sure he had to sign that anyway. Not that he needs one because he doesn't talk. So how and when do we get answers on the reality of where the Marlins are?
Little by little, how it comes out, people sourcing, stuff like that. I mean, my guy Jordan McPherson, our writer now, is out there. He's in Jupiter right now. He was going over there today to figure out, because today was the deadline to see if games were going to start getting canceled, and then this happens. So he's all over it out there now. And I mean, I think you probably hear more quote unquote behind the scenes stuff just from following David Sampson's Twitter account right now this morning. I mean,
he's an embarrassment, bro. His exchange with what's the insider?
I just say, like, it's just like that's the kind of thing now, until like more info comes out, more reports come out.
He's like telling Passan, if I could tell you this, that, and it's like, dude, you're just a lucky son-in-law, bro. If you had any skill, somebody would have hired you in baseball. Nobody hired you. Shut the hell up, bro. You got to steal your money from the city. You made it. Get the hell out and just go away. He's trying to school Jeff Passan here, and it's like, give me a break, dude. That just, exactly. He's just a troll, dude. Anyway, all right. So, what are we expecting from the Herald here on this? What are Jordan and you working on here on this?
Well, we're gonna have, we're gonna look at Jeter's tenure during the Marlins. How it went, and just what they do from here. Kind of what we were talking about just now. Just where do they go from here? Going into, again, crucial year. We're going to have, I know Cody's writing a column about it, so check it out. We'll have it on the website, over the course of the day today.
Any truth to the rumor that the Riddler will become the new logo of the Marlins?
It should, right? I mean, might as well. I mean, that's their MO, with like selling hope and big question mark.
Always a big question mark.
Yep.
Andre, you're the best, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Andre Fernandez from the Miami Herald. Fernandez, Andre C on Twitter. Give us a little Marlins insight on what the hell is going on. So he kind of thinks the same thing I do. Jeter was like, all right, we're ready. Let's go. Let's spend some money. And Sherman's like, money? Huh? What? This takes money? What? You got to buy players? No. Hey, you 14 guys got any cash? Boy, I was against this whole ownership group from the get-go. Maybe I turn out to be wrong when it's all said and done, but I'm not big on big-ass ownership groups. I experienced it with Viner and company with the Panthers, and he meant well, dude. Viner was a good man, but unfortunately, it takes a lot of money to own a professional hockey team. That's the beauty of Viola Sifu. They write checks, and they don't worry about it. That's what I told you earlier. Oh, my God, we made a mistake on this contract. Oh, it's crippling us for years to come. You got the wrong owner. He could be pissed off about the $50 million contract and it takes up $8 million of cap space. Fine. He could be a little pissed off about it, but he has to say, all right, whatever. Let's move on, bro. How do we overcome, guys? What do we do to overcome that? By the way, the Panthers, remember that Bob's salary was looking bad after the first 2 years, and you're wondering, oh my God, if Knight becomes a starter, Bob's a backup. They found a way. That team's loaded. So either Bob played well or not, they were going to be good. And it's not Viola going, oh my God, I signed Bob to a terrible contract. No, Viola's like, let's go. What do we got to do? I got to win. Oh, no, let's build another hockey rink. And no, let's go to, that's what a real owner is. Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu are badass owners. They're freaking awesome. Sherman, jury's out, buddy. You just lost the face of your franchise. And let me add a little caveat to this entire Marlins thing. Okay? We now need to give Jeter a pass. Oh, yeah. Because if we find out that Jeter wanted to spend money now because he first wanted to build up the minors, and we hate all this stuff because we've been listening about the Marlins and minors forever. Okay? They've accomplished so much in the minors that we make the 27 titles of the Yankees look ridiculous with all the titles we've won in the minors saying we've got a great minor league system. Because that's all they could ever brag about for years here. Well, we got all this in the minors. It's Major League Baseball. So if Derek Jeter wanted to spend, then he built it the right way. Then he went about the process where it's painful for us because it's an extension of all the pain that we've suffered, but he did the right thing. He built up the minors for 3 years, loaded it up with pitching, pitching is great to have starting and to use as a commodity to trade, right? So now he says, hey, Bruce, how you doing, man? Listen, we built up the team. We're loaded. We did what we wanted to do. Now we got to go out and buy some free agents. Derek, this might not be the time. My company's not doing well. Eight of our other partners, the pandemic's really hit on us. We don't have the cash call. Can't blame Jeter now. As much as some of us had some fun at his expense, can't blame him now. If this is the case, and it has to be, do you think Jeter is the guy saying not to spend money? I doubt that. And think about this. Where did Derek Jeter come from? From the Yankees. What did the Yankees do? They built a core. Bernie Williams, Posada, Jeter, what's the pitcher's name? Damn it. Oh, God, I'm forgetting. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about now. I don't have to.
Chapman?
Yes, Chapman, Aroldis Chapman came in, but he came in after. He wasn't really part of. I'm talking about the five that were there. Pettit. Right. Pettit, Jeter, Posada, Bernie Williams, and I'm missing like one more. Anyway, those guys were pretty much around, and then they built everything around those guys, and they continually added free agents around those guys. And listen, again, Marlins aren't going to be the Yankees, but that's kind of what you want to do. You want to build a core of young guys and then add a couple of free agents. And that's what it had to be. It had to be. Mariano Rivera. Coño, how can I forget Mariano Rivera? Thank you. That's the fifth guy. Those five guys, and then they built everything. They would add a Clemens. They would add an O'Neill. They would add whatever to all of that stuff. And they had guys come in, and Chapman, whatever. All of those kind of guys they added. Well, Chapman came after. Wasn't really part of all that.
Yeah, I meant Rivera. I said Chapman.
Rivera. Yeah, that's all right, bro. We're human beings. Relax. No big deal. But that's kind of the way it is. And I'm sure he said, hey, we got a core. Time for us to start adding some money here and adding some real players, some bats to these arms. Because you and I know that if they add a couple bats to that offense with those arms, they got a shot, dude. They definitely got a shot at the playoffs. Those arms should be much better this year. Sad, man. It is sad. We're going to be joined by Cameron Wolf any second now here at the bottom of the hour so we can talk a little Miami Dolphins overall. Let me see what else do we have here that I wanted to talk about. Hey, remember, we are going to Vegas in 2 months. We will be there for the NFL draft. I believe it's the 28th through the 30th, if I'm correct. In Vegas, we'll be out there broadcasting live from Tommy Rockers. We'll probably broadcast the day before because we're going out on a Tuesday, the 26th, I believe. And so we'll be there Wednesday, the 27th. So the 27th, we'll be broadcasting from Tommy Rockers. And then we'll be there for the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, all night and all day for every pick that the Miami Dolphins have in the 2022 draft. We're going to have a slew of guests, okay? Yes, you'll be able to watch it if you're not going to be there live. You'll be able to watch it, but nobody's going to have better guests than us. Well, nobody's really doing a draft show. I mean, we're the only ones that are going to be doing a 3-day draft show. You know what I'm saying? That clown show that they call a station locally here, they're not going to do anything. So you want the best draft coverage for Miami Dolphin fans. You're going to join us in Las Vegas at Tommy Rockers. That'll be the headquarters those 3 days or 4 days, because the day before the draft, if you're in town, come on by to Tommy Rockers, man, because we'll be out there doing the show. But Tommy Rockers is going to be the home for Miami Dolphin fans. So for those 3 days, 4 days, whatever, the Wednesday we can include, come on out, man. Get away from the craziness and all that. Enjoy some great food. We got TVs everywhere. There's some slot machines too, all that. So we're going to have some fun over at Tommy Rockers. And Tommy's going to join us on Wednesday. So we'll bring him on the show and we'll have a little fun with him. But if you are going to the draft and by the way, plane tickets are still pretty, well, at least from South Florida, they're still pretty affordable. You may want to get your rooms as soon as possible. Okay. Sean and I ended up getting an Airbnb. So we got a house instead. I figured we needed a little bit more room. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have that. Yeah. Mike Moynihan says it doesn't take a lot to beat QAM. Well, we beat QAM in everything. Okay. I mean, give me a break. They got nothing going on over there. So they got nothing. They got no resources. Yeah, they're so cheap over there. I mean, let me give you a little insight on this. Do you hear them doing traffic? So you can call the traffic department here locally, and you have to pay for the service. Okay? So I know because I've run a station before and I had to inquire about it, and I, had to deal with cheap owners also. But anyway, so here's how it is. If you want to have traffic reports on your station, you can pay them to then you'll hear the man or woman that comes on the air and gives the traffic reports, boom, whatever. Or you can then, if you don't have the money for that, then for half that money, I think it is, or maybe a little less, they feed you the service, but you have to read it yourself. So that's what you're hearing now, that they've got the producers reading it on the air because they're too cheap to actually pay for the service itself. That's bad, dude. Okay? A company that size, it tells you how much they're bleeding money. That they don't even have money for that. I mean, they're running out of cash. I'm actually, I got to be honest, I'm shocked that they haven't filed for Chapter 11 yet as a company, because they're losing their ass. All they do is find ways to cut. So, and really, nobody orders that service unless you're so cheap. Yep, because just crazy. Oh, that is awesome, dude. That's awesome to watch him just go right down the freaking toilet. Speaking of slot machines, how are we feeling about the market movement? Well, I don't know about the market. The crypto market was pretty good. I don't know where's it at now. I haven't checked it in an hour here since I've been just talking. Ooh, we went over 41,000 on Bitcoin. Market's going great, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving this market right now. Oh yeah, baby. Bitcoin is up 4.5% over 41,000. Look out. Oh Lordy. All right, let's get into a little Miami Dolphins talk with Cameron Wolf in our Fort Lauderdale Police Department Miami Dolphins report.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and Miami Dolphins with our Fort Lauderdale Police Department Pro Football Report with insider Cameron Wolf. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is an equal opportunity employer. The department is now hiring uncertified and certified police officers. Go to flpdjobs.com. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
Righty, there is Cameron Wolf. He's got the lights off. Oh, he turned them back on again. Okay, there we go.
Big O, what's good, man?
How you doing, bro? Word
I'm
is
good.
you're best friends with Sean Payton. Did the Dolphins really go after your best friend?
I don't know anything about the Sean Payton stuff, man. Florio has some contacts clearly that I don't have about this whole Sean Payton deal, but who knows? I mean, I think that
imaginary contacts.
Who knows?
I'm just saying, you know, there's more crap thrown on the wall there than anywhere else, and let's see if it sticks. You know,
Right.
It's that kind of stuff. Just like he won't even let go of the Watson stuff either. It's like, yo, dude, come on, the plan's there. It's been there from the get-go, but whatever. It is what it is. So you're not believing Brady and Peyton, or what? Where you stand on that?
So I don't know if I have a full stance. I haven't heard anything about that. Obviously the stuff that Flores put out about the quarterback that was supposed to be meeting with them back in 2020, that was Tom Brady, I was told. But as far as the 2022 season, I mean, there's a lot of layers there. Both Brady and Peyton are still under contract with their current teams. So, I mean, like, I don't know how realistic you could actually say the person is in pursuing, like the Dolphins could say, hey, we're going to pursue Patrick Mahomes, or we're interested in Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. So, right. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily say it didn't, they didn't have any conversations about, can we get Sean Payton? But I don't know how far that got up the lane of a real possibility.
Before I get to the continue with the Dolphins, what do you think about this Rodgers story now that he is looking for $50 million a year now, and I mean that would be kind of crippling cap wise too for Green Bay. I know he's worth it because if you're going to pay Kirk Cousins $35 million. This guy's 3 times better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, no, 50 million is crazy. I don't think we've seen. I guess Mahomes got the 40 million, but 50 would be wild. Like you said, salary cap. I think the salary cap's a little over 200 million, so that's almost a quarter of the salary cap with one player. Sorry, my daughter's in here. You can hear her.
She wants the 50 million, bro. Yeah, that's what she's complaining about. What the hell is that, Aaron Rodgers? I deserve 50 million.
Right. So you
she's
can't argue Aaron deserves it, but I think this will be a very interesting back and forth because you already seen the Packers president already say, hey, I didn't promise Aaron Rodgers that I was going to trade him. And so you there's a little bit of a power play, it feels like, that's going on before Aaron Rodgers makes his final decision. Rodgers is trying to leak out, okay, I want this money. The Packers are leaking out. We don't have to trade him. And so it makes me wonder, is this thing really going to get back together? Like, I think you asked me a couple weeks ago when we were on there, and I said I thought that Rodgers would stay and he'd be back in Green Bay. But the more this thing lingers, the more that comes out, it makes me wonder, do these guys really want to be together?
Well, I mean, here's the other thing that I wonder. I don't know about you, but when I see this linger, this tells me that Jordan Love must be really be. I'm not going by the 2 games he played because that's not fair to even judge the kid.
Right.
He might turn out to be a good quarterback, but behind the scenes, he must be really lost.
He's definitely nowhere near ready to
Right.
get Aaron Rodgers level of play. And the problem with the Packers is they're built for winning now.
Well, that's 95% of the history of the game. It's never
Right.
been at Aaron Rodgers level.
Right. But I guess the problem for the Packers is if you're turning it over to Jordan Love, you're going to be a rebuilding team. To an extent. At least for a year. So that's an area where you got a lot of vets there. Devontae Adams, is he going to want to come back if it's Jordan Love there? You got other guys that are coming up free agency wise. Are they going to be willing to take a little bit less money if it's Jordan Love versus Aaron Rodgers? All these things are a part of the decision. So, he's hinted at saying he's going to make a decision soon to help them out. But we're the last day of February, free agency in 2 weeks. I'd imagine we hear a decision, this week maybe. I figure it's got to come this week. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he says. And if he doesn't say, hey, I'm coming back, what do the Packers do? Do they feel like their hands forced, or do they play hardball? And if they play hardball, that's going to be a whole nother thing. He's going to do his whole interview cycle with Pat McAfee weekly talking about how they're trapping him. So I think that's probably the most interesting story in the league right now.
Question is, did that sponsor extend it past the season? That's the question. Are they paying Aaron Rodgers past the season for that segment? I don't know about that. I'm thinking the business side of it, since I got to handle all those kind of things. Yeah. The other thing is that, and what this reminds me of, as the great Bob Marley would say, exodus, movement, culture, people. Well, as Tom Brady leaves, Ali Marpet says, I'm retiring. I don't really need to stick around. And I think exodus is happening. Well, same thing here. I think the front office knows too. You trade Aaron Rodgers, exodus is happening. So even if you went to Trey Lance, he's going to play behind, because I was laughing my ass off last week when Bruce Arians is defending Blaine Gabbert and saying, well, Blaine's never played with this good of a team. I'm like, Bruce, when Brady says he's gone, that team's not going to be that good anymore. You're not sticking around either, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And here's Ali Mappart, already going, yeah. So I think that's kind of the issue too for Green Bay and Tampa, for the Bays, for Green and Tampa. Those 2 guys leave. Others are scattering and saying, hell no, I don't want to be a part of part 2 here.
Yeah, you're right about that. There's certain players, probably about 5 of them in the league, who draw talent to their city, particularly because they want to play with them. So Tampa, and that's funny, I actually spent some time covering the Bucs this year, and I was talking to some of their front office people and their PR people, and they were like, it's crazy because before Brady came, we were an afterthought. People wouldn't come into the game. People didn't want to talk to us. They didn't want to ask for our star players. And now that he's here, we've got requests out the wazoo. And they were like openly curious whether it would stay or whether it would go after. And now we're going to see. I mean, maybe there's some fans that linger for another year in Tampa, but do they eventually go back very quickly to where they were before? I mean, the Packers have a big fan base, so maybe they don't have as big of a drop-off with Aaron Rodgers, but still, they went from Brett Favre.
They have no drop off. Packer Nation never has a drop off.
Right, but
remember, Tampa went through this already.
Yeah.
Well, those Dungy teams that then Gruden won the title, but then after that they had 20,000 in waiting list.
Right.
2 years after that title, that waiting list was gone, and they were disappearing as that team disappeared. Once Derek Brooks and Allstott and all these guys were gone, and the Barbers and all that, it was over, dude. They were done.
Yeah, and we talk about Green Bay. They've been one of those spoiled teams. Remember when we talked about spoiled about a month or two ago? They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, that's been their last 3 decades of quarterbacks.
I know.
So they're used to Hall of Fame play at the quarterback position consistently. You bring in Jordan Love, I don't think that audience is going to have much patience for, not top level play. So that's going to be interesting to watch if Aaron does leave, what the patience level is for Jordan Love. I remember when I was in Denver after Peyton Manning left, the quarterbacks after him were all bad, but they all got it worse because they were coming after Peyton. Trevor Siemian was that guy. Then it was Paxton Lynch. They drafted him in the first round, and everybody was really hard on him because it's like, you don't work like Peyton. You don't throw like Peyton. It's all that. So, as we know here in Miami, following a legend at quarterback is not easy to do. And the pressure.
Well, we had it here, Doggy. We had Greasy and Marino, and even a bridge of Woodstock in the middle. They made the Super Bowl with Woodstock, with Woodley and Don Strock. But in between the Marino and Greasy era, which are 2 Hall of Famers, it was only like 2 years, but we still had a Super Bowl appearance in all of that. So we kind of went through that with Green Bay, where we experienced it for 3 decades, and then ever since we've been obviously cursed. It's one of those things. So Green Bay better hope they don't get the curse. You know what I'm saying? Because that thing can last, boy. That can last for a long time, and it is painful, man.
Yes.
Painful. Okay. Look at the Colts. They went through Manning, and then they got luck. And then since then they have no luck. So
QB purgatory. Now they're looking to move on from another quarterback this offseason. It sounds like so.
All right, what do you think happens with Gesicki? Because he doesn't fit what they do.
Correct.
But would they be willing to work with him for a year to try to see if they can fit the square peg in the round hole? I was talking about this with Poupart years ago. Brent Jones for the San Francisco 49ers is a Hall of Famer, but he also was kind of like Gesicki. He was that tall-ass receiver playing tight end, not really much of a blocker. So I'm just wondering what happens here. What's your gut tell you?
My gut tells me that there is no long-term extension. I think they either give him the franchise tag or let him go. And so I think you're right. It's either a 1-year bridge and see if it works, or you let him go. And the more I listen to the new staff and hear what they're doing, I'm starting to think let them go. And I know Dolphins fans aren't happy with that, but if you have a choice between bringing in maybe another free agent receiver or another guy who maybe fits your skill set better, rather than bring back a Gesicki who may limit you a little bit in your play calling and your scheme, that could be, your option there. If you can bring in a guy like a Michael Gallup or somebody of that sort, or a Christian Kirk, someone who probably is going to make similar money, but you can use in multiple roles and not just as a receiving slot tight end, then I think that is something you have to consider. And when you listen to Mike McDaniel talk, he's talked about getting the ball in his playmakers' hands and letting them run after the catch, right? And so what we know, Waddle does that excellent, but who else on this team does that? And they need to get at least one more of those guys. It's not going to be Devontae Parker. Mike Gesicki is really good at a lot of things, but not open field running and yards after catch. So where are you going to get that guy? Are you going to get him with the 29th pick, or are you more likely to get him in free agency? And so if you do get that guy, to me that fills a slot position. And then what do you do with Gesicki? So at this point, I'm probably leaning towards they let him test the market and see what is out there for him. And my guess is there's going to be enough out there for him to leave and find something better.
Yeah, and they will get compensatory pick for him too. It all depends on, I guess, how active do you think Miami will be in for? Because I would imagine, Cam, that they've got to sign 2 linemen. That's the way I'm looking at it. In order to bring some balance, they need to bring 2 really good veteran linemen to kind of balance and also share that wealth of knowledge to those young guys and help them in the confidence area too.
Absolutely. I think you look at that market, and the problem with offensive tackles is they all get re-signed a lot of times before they hit the market. So you can look at Teron Armstead, and I love him here in Miami. He would fix the left tackle spot immediately. He's, 31, but you still be able to sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal and be fine. But is he going to hit the market? I mean, the Saints,
I wouldn't give him big money because he can't stay healthy. That's the only thing. If he's asking for a lot of money, that's where I get scared with Teron Armstead.
All of these guys have flaws. That's why they're hidden free agency, right? So you're either going to get an injury flaw, you're going to get this guy's not as good. I'd rather take my chance on a guy who may need a little help staying healthy. You know, it's a little bit of a mitigated risk rather than a guy who is a B level or C level talent. You know, Teron Armstead, when healthy, is a top 5 left tackle in the league.
I got you. That makes
but
sense.
When you get past him, you know, maybe Cam Robinson's on the market, and he's been up and down in Jacksonville. Orlando Brown out there. I don't know if
they're not letting him go.
Trent Brown's another one, but I don't know if he necessarily fits the zone blocking scheme. He's more of a power guy. But overall, I think there's going to be a variety of different names you're going to see the Dolphins name attached to, especially on the offensive line. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to have them go get a center. You know, that's a
Ryan Jensen. Ryan Jensen, baby.
Nice physical guy, a guy who can really be the face and the attitude of an offensive line. So I think they go get a center regardless this offseason, whether it's high in the draft or in free agency. So
I think it's in the draft. I know they could get maybe the Boston College kid since we have Applebaum and all that stuff. But my thing is they don't have time anymore to wait for people to develop. So they need to go get a Ryan Jensen because he's an immediate impact. Because one of the things I talked about earlier on the show in the first hour was this front office had an hourglass. And they've wasted 2 years with a coach that couldn't build an offensive staff so they can find out about their quarterback. So they no longer have that time anymore. They need to find out about Tua and close it out in the next 2 years because, as you know, then they have to pay him for that 5th year and moving on. So they have a 2-year window now where they've got to build immediately that line in the running game and the offense and straighten it out so they can feel good about giving him that long-term contract. So they don't have that much time to wait for more new linemen to develop. Agree or disagree on that?
Oh, absolutely agree. I think, Big O, you're right on the money there. I think the last couple of years you've seen a team who's tried to develop offensive linemen, right? And so maybe you have better coaches here who can do a better job developing. But I'm not going to take the chance and wait 2 years for a guy to be ready. So, you know, maybe there's a position in the draft that you can count on players to be able to contribute immediately. Offensive line does not seem to be one of them. So I'd rather get me a receiver, as you saw with Jalen Waddle. You can be ready in year one and be able to contribute. You know, we've seen the edge rushers and cornerbacks and linebackers, but offensive linemen, that's a position where you typically need multiple years. Honestly, tight end too. Offensive line,
unless we're talking about one of those top 10 freaks.
Exactly.
Okay, then maybe you can get one of those kind of guys.
Slater. He was a guy who came in immediately. Creed Humphrey, who I argued they should have drafted last year, is another guy, but those are few and far between. So I think you got to go make a splash in that free agency market, that trade market, and get at least 2 new starters on that offensive line. Continue to develop the young guys you have, and maybe draft another guy you can develop, but not need him to contribute from day one.
Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. Catch his work there at the NFL Network. And, of course, catch him here exclusively twice a week doing his thing with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, Miami Dolphins report. Cam, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Safe travels to the Combine.
Appreciate you, man. And sorry for the noise my daughter was making here. She decided to make this.
Those are awesome noises. Plus, she's smart, dude. She heard $50 million and she's like, yo,
I want it. Let's get it, right?
Notice how she stayed quiet after that. She was interested. She's a smart girl. You're raising a smart girl there.
She knows money. Every time she sees me grab my credit card or my wallet, she knows what that means, and she tries to grab for it. So that is not something she needs explained to her.
Yeah, but she's disappointed your credit card doesn't have 50 million. That's why she was
nowhere near.
That's why she was kind of talkative at the moment there, going, yo, Dad, 50 million, let's go. Get on it. Right. All right, Cam. Appreciate you, my man. You be good.
All right. Appreciate you.
You got it. There you go. Cameron Wolf.
This has been the Fort Lauderdale Police Department Pro Football Report with insider Cameron Wolf. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is an equal opportunity employer. The department is now hiring uncertified and certified police officers. Go to flpdjobs.com.
Go. Thanks to Cam. Appreciate it. Marcel Louis Jacques will be joining us here at the top of the hour. Speaking of football, Inter Miami and Chicago played to a 0-0 draw. Noah Allen, the kid from Pembroke Pines, the boys. Diop had a nice outing. It was fun to watch some of the young cats, I will say, but I'm also going to say you're in year 3. And the one thing that I saw in that game was you couldn't finish. And close only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. It just doesn't help in soccer. And that's the one thing that I walked away from. Yeah, it's nice to see some of these young guys, but in the end, I saw a team that couldn't finish. And I don't even know how good Chicago is. We'll find out a couple months from now. If they're a bad team, then you'll see that game and you'll look at it and you say, yeah, 2 mediocre teams playing against each other. That's why they played to a 0-0 draw. But that's the question now. Has Miami found anybody that can finish? Even Higuain could not finish at the level that they needed last year. And he's a world-class player, or was a world-class player. Hell, and he was playing more midfielder than striker last year, and now he's playing the position he played more last year than what he was signed up for, midfielder. And they're not paying him for that kind of play. If you're going to pay for a DP, you pay for somebody that can score goals. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the only thing that I saw from that Saturday game. I said, you can't finish. Last year, you couldn't finish. The year before, you couldn't finish. Is that the problem once again for Inter Miami? Can you finish? Because on Saturday, I did not see any finish. That's why the scoreboard read 0. That's my only problem that I walked away from that game on Saturday. And I was a little bitter about it. I can't get excited. It's like the Marlin thing. Don't tell me any more about the minors. I don't want to hear about your minor leaguers. I don't want to hear about this guy in Greensboro or that guy at AA or this guy in Saskatoon. I'm just making crap up for the minors. I don't care. It's Major League Baseball. It's Major League Soccer. Okay? Time for the minor league play to be put aside. Time for Inter Miami to step up. And if you can't finish, it's going to be another long-ass season. We'll find out Sunday against Austin. And we'll see if they can finish enough to get a victory against Austin. The Welton Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 for the Welt and Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. If you want to get in, don't forget, if you want to become a sponsor of the program and join us, just for sponsorship purposes, our business line is 786-754-4664 for our business line. If you want to join us and be a sponsor, 786-754-4664. And Eddie Lepp, thank you, sir. As I'm forgetting his name now, but the gentleman in Flagler Beach did reach out to us, and I will call him today, actually. All right. Big O, we're visiting Miami in early March. Will you be hosting a lunch radio event for listeners, esteemed Dolphin reporters at Champs at the Miami? By the way, Champions Sports Bar at the Miami Airport has the Masvidal fight this Saturday. So if you want to go check out the Masvidal fight, get on down to Champion Sports Bar in the Marriott, in the airport Marriott, right off the 836, man. Easy to get in, easy to get out, secured parking, free parking. The food is out of control over at Champions. Okay? That chicken sandwich was awesome. The bread was delicious. I was telling the chef that the other day. Chef reached out to me today and told me that the fight is on. So if you want to watch the UFC match with Masvidal, Champions is a great place to go. Check it out. Champion Sports Bar in the Airport Marriott. I will be doing shows in March, my friend. Depends on the date, Roberto, when you're in. But I'm at Caneswear. I'm at, or we are at Caneswear. We are at Acura Pembroke Pines. We are at Hialeah Park. We could be at Champions. We're, I can't tell you the exact dates yet, but hopefully it's coming. We're going to be doing heat watch parties over at Champions Sports Bar in the Airport Marriott. Okay? It's a great bar, man. Telling you, fun place, great place to go with the fellas, great place to take your lady. Really super nice. You'll like it, man. And the food, again, absolutely phenomenal. Okay? What else do we have here? Mike Florio is obsessed with Ross and bringing him down. Other old media stations have him on just to spew his lies without challenging him, just lapping it up with little, like obedient dogs that they are. I'm not going to mention any stations. Yeah, you're talking about QAM. I know that they bring on Florio. I get it. I know Joe's been bringing him on for years. Amazing. Couldn't tell you were thinking him back. I'll purchase. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Do I think reporters will ever be allowed in the locker rooms again? Jim from Ocala. Yes, I do. Yes. Once we get back to normal, I do believe they'll be allowed back into the locker room. Yes. Okay. It's just a matter of time to kind of adjust to the craziness that is a pandemic. But yeah, they will. I think everything will work out. All right, let's take a very quick break. When we come back, Marcel Louis Jacques, baby, is ready to go. And hey, listen, it's our Edge Energy Drink, Miami Dolphins Insider Report.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis Jacques.
There we go. Give me that can.
We gotta have like a tug of war gift, man. Like a tug of war graphic. We're just both wrestling for this can, man.
Exactly. Delicious.
Get the boys in the lab.
That's right. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste Edge Energy Drink. The link is below here on our YouTube page. Check it out. Try it. You will love it. I promise you. Dougie Fresh says, music news. Questlove and Mick Jagger are producing a 4-part documentary about the godfather of soul, James Brown. Nice.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Hell yeah. I mean, those are two guys that, especially Mick Jagger, who actually knew James Brown and performed with him, and obviously coming up in the same era and all that. So Jagger's a great sounding board off of that. So that should be an interesting biography or documentary that they're going to put together. I like that overall. All right. So are you believing any of this Sean Payton and Tom Brady to Miami?
No, I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of speculation, obviously, that Tom Brady was the guy, the quarterback, that Stephen Ross tried to meet with on the yacht. And who knows? Like in a world there, you could believe that this coaching process took so long because they wanted to see how the Sean Payton process would the Sean Payton situation was happening in New Orleans. But no, man, I don't think that would. I don't think that would really mesh with what they're trying to do. It's kind of a pipe dream. This is still rumor season. This is still throw spaghetti at a wall, see what sticks season. I don't think I'm buying the whole Tom Brady and Sean Payton super team to the Dolphins. Now, the same guy, Florio, I think, reported that he still believes Deshaun Watson is in play for the Dolphins. That one I do believe.
You do believe?
That one
Okay.
I'd be, or let me rephrase. I'm more inclined to believe that than I am Sean Payton and Tom Brady coming to Miami.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Now. Okay.
Let me clear it up here.
There's zero truth to it. I mean, there's zero truth to it. Okay. These guys are completely dedicated to Tua. They're dead set on fixing everything with Tua and trying to build around it to see if they can, I just was talking about this with Cam because we were talking about, offensive linemen in the draft. And I don't think the Dolphins have any plans to take an offensive lineman early on in the draft. Why? They don't have time to develop anybody anymore. If they're going to get an offensive lineman or two, they're going to buy them because they're already made. And then the guys that are there now, well, they have experience. Now you get real coaches to hopefully coach those guys up. Why? Because your window's down to 2 years with Tua now. You've got to find out what he is the next 2 years. You don't have time to wait for other linemen to develop anymore. You need to develop your quarterback and make a decision on his ass in the next 2 seasons because you have to either crap or get off the pot because you're going to have to give him a fat-ass contract. And the only way you give him that fat-ass contract is if you actually know if he can play in the next 2 years. So the only way you're going to know is by surrounding him with veterans right now because he needs to make the quick transition.
Yeah, then this is kind of what we were talking about the last time I was on the show is that, they're in that window where Tua is on a rookie deal and they have all this cap space. It's a perfect scenario for a team to build talent around this cheap option at the most important and expensive position and see how far you can get. So yeah, they've spent significant draft capital on offensive linemen over the past several years. There are 4 guys that were picked in the top 100, man. Like this is not it's not like they're just, signing guys off the street and adding random veterans on that line. Like they have tried like hell to build that offensive line into something. And that is why you see hires like Frank Smith and hires like Matt Applebaum, guys who have experience developing offensive linemen, and I'm glad that they also, and this was going to get some response out of people, but I'm glad that they kept Lemuel Jean-Pierre on as an assistant coach because it's not that he's a bad coach or that he will never be a good coach. It's that I think he might have been in over his head a bit. Like I just don't think he was ready for that role. And but after firing 3 coaches in 3 seasons or however many it was, Brian Flores didn't have like a plethora of options for the job. So I think that we're going to see a coaching staff that is more experienced in developing that position group. And I would expect to see a better offensive line, man, because like Dieter is not a bad player. Rob Hunt is obviously not a bad player. He's probably their best lineman. Liam Eichenberg, 2nd round pick. I don't think anybody was questioning it at the time. And this was a guy who, if I remember correctly, people believe could sneak into the end of the 1st round. Like some people were talking him as the best tackle. So like, it's not that he just all of a sudden is bad, and all of these evaluators, all of these analysts and scouts just didn't know what they were talking about. Like the probability of missing on 4 offensive line picks like that is kind of astronomical. So I expect to see improved O-line play with a better coaching staff this coming season. Add a playmaker at 29. Like if Jameson Williams is still on the board, if Drake London is still on the board, guys who are coming back from injury, and that is really the only reason why they fell so far, specifically with Jameson Williams, man. I don't care if you took a receiver in last year's draft, do it again, man. When that kid comes back from his torn ACL, him and Waddle, the speed on that offense, you hear Mike McDaniel talk a lot about running after the catch and yards after the catch and putting guys like that in position to gain mass yardage. You could do a hell of a lot worse than Waddle and Jameson Williams on the outside. So, if a linebacker is around, add a linebacker. look into trading down, see if you can add another pick. Like if a quarterback falls and another team wants to come up, dangle that thing in front, man. See if you can add a pick in 2023. You've already got 2 in the first round. They still own the 49ers and they own their own. If they can somehow finagle a third first round pick out of that, then all of a sudden, and again, might roll your eyes here, but if Tua does not develop this year, you have 3 first rounders in the same draft to package and move up and get you another quarterback. Like it's all cautious. And if he does pan out, then you have 3 first round picks. Like there's I don't see the downside in it.
Was the plan from the get-go was to get the quarterback now and over the next couple of years, surround them with all those picks, not use all your picks to then go get another quarterback. So then you don't have any more ammunition to surround them with. And you lose the cap space because then you've got to pay also the quarterback, which, by the way, leads me to why I think the story is also a bunch of BS. If you're actually really signing Sean Payton, you're going, well, you just coached a QB that's just like the one we have. Okay, you're the guy that can actually get the best out of Tua. Let's go. And why would Sean Payton come to Miami to coach Brady for a year and then have no quarterback after that? I mean, that's, it's just, there's so much stupid shit to that story that it just, to me, but it's kind of typical. It's just, let's just throw a whole bunch of things. And here's also, these are the kind of stories you throw up against the wall that you can't prove anyways. You can't prove wrong or right anyway. You know what I mean? So
also, man, I'm trying. If I'm the Dolphins, I probably don't let that get out. I do whatever it takes not to let that get out. That we're going after Sean Payton. We're going after Tom Brady. Like it would be like they learned nothing from how to control a narrative.
By the way, that's been the MO since it's been the MO since Chris Greer took over. They don't talk to anybody, so nothing does get out overall. So that's kind of been like that for a while. So why is all of a sudden he getting all this misinformation? Give me a minute.
I don't believe, like I said, I'm more inclined to believe the Deshaun Watson one than the Brady Payton one. And I'm not even saying that I believe the Watson one. It's just, I have to pick one to go after. So I think, they evaluate Tua under somebody who, can design an offense built around him, who has obviously brought in a coaching staff capable of elevating that side of the ball. Like I love what he's done on offense. And most importantly, guys who can develop offensive linemen. So you literally protect your investment, add a running back. I think Duke Johnson deserves first snaps come like OTAs and mini camp and training camp. But, if you, especially if they trade down from 29 and you've added more day 2 picks, if Kenneth Walker's sitting there in the second round, the third round, do it. Get a running back on day 2. The strategy doesn't work, man. Like the Dolphins are the perfect organization.
No. Listen, they're gonna get the running back. It's that they will get it now. It's the guy that was there went the New England way. He didn't want to spend a high pick on a back. Watch them. They will either get a top 3 round running back or a free agent. You can bet your ass on that. They're not coming back with the guys that they have on the roster right now. You'll see.
They have to. It's just the Dolphins are like the perfect counter argument to everybody who says like, why spend a high pick on a running back? Just go get one on day 3. Sign an undrafted free agent. Like that is harder than people are giving it credit for. Like that is harder to do and harder to identify than I think people believe. Like how many 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round backs?
Here, let me add ammo to your argument. In the Dolphins case, you probably go for a higher back because you need a more talented guy at the moment because your line is unproven. Now, if we were talking about a line that was proven over the last couple of years and was a badass line, then I can say, oh, dude, I'll draft a guy in the 3rd or 4th round or 5th round. I'm fine. Our line is so good, it'll make them that much better. Right now, you need to add a superb athlete back there just to hopefully make a difference for any kind of shortcomings.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I banged the table so hard for Travis Etienne last year, who unfortunately had that injury in training camp or in the preseason. And so we'll never know what player he would have been. I thought Jacksonville was a weird spot for him. but and it was a weird pick for them to make. But
They had the
still a
Robinson
talent.
kid. They had Robinson and Hyde, right? It was like
Like Robinson was a very good back last year. I think drafting a first rounder it felt weird. I'm all for adding like stockpiling on talent, man, stockpiling on playmakers. But it did feel kind of like that's weird. I thought in Buffalo, ETN would have been awesome.
Stories. James Robinson was one of the best stories in the NFL 2 years ago, dude.
But no, there's no, as far as I know, and in the what I've looked into, like there's no first round back this year. So there's no, there's nobody I'm pounding the table for at 29 that I think the Dolphins need to take. Even if you take Walker there, I think it's a little bit of a reach. And especially with the carries that he's had in college and the workload that he had last year, I don't know if I just don't know if I would do that. That's not really.
I almost feel like that pick's going to be traded down, dude. I almost feel like we're going to be in Vegas that night calling the draft, and we're going to be on for hours, and then we're finally going to get to that pick for the Dolphins, and they're going to go, the Dolphins have made a trade, and they've traded out of the first round into the early part of the second round and picked up extra picks and all that kind of stuff. Because I almost feel like at 29 or 37, they're going to go, it's the same effing player. Let's go take the extra picks. You know what I mean? So I almost feel like that's what's going to end up happening.
Yep. And I will put my laptop in the bag, pack up my charger, roll it up, and head on home. I'll be like, okay, that's fine. This is fine.
At that moment, Sean and I will say, beer. All right, we're going to wrap it up here on the show. We're out of here.
About to say, I'll have my Edge energy drink kicking, and I'm gonna have to go blow off some steam and go for a run or something. But like, you know what? I'm up at 1 a.m. for a traded pick, but I get to be, so I'm gonna go home now. I would expect them to trade the pick. All jokes aside, I don't know what kind of difference maker you get at 29. It depends on how the board falls, but particularly if one of these quarterbacks starts to fall, and maybe a team that might not need a QB, but is on the horizon of things that they should be considering. So not unlike what we saw Green Bay do with Jordan Love a couple years ago. Offer 29 up. Here you go. We don't need this.
And knowing them, they feel like it gives them an edge to get a couple of extra picks, maybe an extra in this draft and another extra in the next draft, so they can kind of get prepared for more ammunition, which, by the way, again, there's nothing wrong with that if you keep adding more and more picks. The fishnet approach in the draft is usually the best way to go, to have as many picks as possible, because you're going to swing and miss. So more picks gives you more shots to finally get some hits. So
if let's say a team has anywhere between 6 and 8 draft picks in any given draft, it's not like all 8 of those are going to hit. If 3 of them, I think if 3 out of your 7-person draft class end up being, key players on your team, then I would call that a successful draft. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm not sitting here saying, well, 5 out of the 7 don't. You know what I mean? Like this one right here.
Mastermind. You're a mastermind if you hit 5 out of 7.
Yeah, like that's what do we think this is, man? That doesn't even work. Even in Madden, you know what I mean? Like, you can go spend all your scouting points on players, and on the video game, you're not hitting on 5 out of 7, man. So like, why would I expect that in real life? Like, when you look at this past year, Waddle, Phillips, Holland hits. I don't care what the rest of the draft class does. Like, this was it was a good class. This is a great class.
Yeah. Although I do get pissed off that I know that the year before, okay, so the jury's out on the top 3 guys, but nobody ever mentions Raekwon Davis and Brandon Jones, who are already hits on it. And then if you hit on Tua along with Raekwon and Brandon Jones, the draft already becomes a monster, by the way. Doesn't matter if you hit on Jackson or Iggy, actually. Those become bonuses, if anything. But if Raekwon Davis is a player, Brandon Jones is a starter, and Tua becomes your quarterback. I mean, with Tua alone, the draft becomes a success if he hits. But nobody ever mentions Raekwon Davis and Brandon Jones in that draft.
Well, you say nobody. I put out a piece, I want to say it was in November, about Chris Greer's draft history. And I believe I say something along those lines, that if it weren't for guys like Raekwon Davis and Brandon Jones, then this class would have been an utter disaster. It would have been an utter disaster because you blew on the three, or I don't want to say blew because, I think the jury is still out on Tua. And you know what? The jury's still out on Austin Jackson. Let's give him one more year. But but still, it's not that you blew those 3 picks. It's that you can quantifiably point to 3 players that they should have taken instead and say this was the better pick.
Just say it. It's not the 21 draft. That's all. Just say it. It's not the 21 draft. Right? That's what you need. You got to hit like the 21 draft. You're already saying it's a hit already. That's it. You're done. Yeah. You're good. You're fine. Because those 3 players exploded right in your face. That's it, dude. You don't need to see more of Javon Holland. You know that guy's a freaking baller.
Star. And I said it 100 times, star. But no, that's what I'm saying. I don't expect the team to hit on like all 7 picks. I expect you to hit your first rounders though, man. Like you gotta hit your premium picks, your first and second round, like more often than not, and not even just more often than not. I'm talking 85% of the time. Like you have to hit on one of them. So and even the third is a quality pick.
On your third too, bro. I think you got to hit on your. I think you start playing darts in the 4th round. Honestly, that's the way I look at it. Obviously, you're always playing darts. The draft is an imperfect science, but if you're paid to do this and you're really good, you need to be hitting more often than not in your first 3 rounds. That's the way I kind of look at it. After the 4th round and on, well, that's becomes really hard at that point.
And honestly, that's where Chris Greer, because if you do look at his draft history, he's actually pretty good on day 2. He's really good on day 2. I mean, we just said guys like Holland, guys like Davis, guys like Brandon Jones, they're his day 2. There are his day 2 picks. It's that he has been blowing his first rounders. Xavier Howard, another day 2 pick, but like he's been blowing his first rounders, and with the exception of last year, it's just that like, you're not making the most out of the most exciting part of this rebuild. And I think maybe the best first round pick off the top of my head that he's made that is still obviously on the team, because I think Minka or Tunsil overall would be the best first rounder, would be Christian Wilkins. And as much as this fan base loved Christian Wilkins and as cool as a person he is and as good of a player he is, you can't sit here and tell me that you wouldn't rather have Brian Burns. So even that was not necessarily the correct pick. It's a pick that worked out, but either he has to start hitting on these first rounders. He's got 3 over the next 2 years. It's something to keep an eye on, as this new kind of tandem, as this new regime moves forward. Has Chris Greer, is it Mike McDaniel? We don't know who's actually making the picks, but like, can this combination of
no,
make the pick?
No, this is Greer now. McDaniel can make suggestions, but McDaniel, from what I'm told, does not have any kind of power like Brian Flores and Adam Gase had. They were dead set on not making that mistake again. I'm like 1,000% sure of that.
And that's where I'm leaning that's where I lean as well, is that, I think that you're finally going to let this guy who came up in the scouting department have more autonomy over everybody except maybe the owner, but still we'll be able to tell, okay, like how much of this was Greer and Gase, or was it Flores and Gase, and how much of it was Greer?
I think everybody's butt's on the line now. That's it. It's done. He got his coach again. He won't get the luxury of getting a third coach. It's a miracle he got a second coach.
Yeah.
Minorities don't get that kind of opportunity. So he got it. I'm sure Marvin Allen, and Reggie McKenzie we got to nail this one. We got to get it right. That's why I personally trust the 3 personnel guys. But what I didn't like is that they deferred to Flores too much. And then they made the same mistake that Tannenbaum and company made, that they deferred to Gase too much. This is not the case, which is good now, because now we can separate church and state. Now we know who's who. So if the coaching's not good, we know it's the coaching. If the personnel's not good, we know it's personnel. So now there's no questions about who picked this, that, and did they give him authority for this or that. That's out the window now. So now everything is clear as day. Now you got to get it done. So we'll see.
Got to get it done.
All right, man. Safe travels. You headed to the combine tomorrow?
Yeah, man. I'm actually I've been all over the place these past couple of weeks. So as you know, got back from California last week. I'm in Austin this weekend, or been in Austin this weekend. I fly back home in a couple hours, get to sleep in my bed for a night, and then headed out to Indy the next morning. Some people might say, well, why wouldn't you just go straight from Austin to Indy?
Yeah.
I was 4 flights away from getting American Airlines gold status, man. Like sometimes sacrifices got to be made. If that means sitting on a plane for an extra 3 hours, then hey, man, the game is the game, bro. You just got to charge it to the game and keep it pushing.
That's funny, dude. That's funny. Okay. All right. That is funny. Okay.
Come on, man.
The things
priority
we do
access.
Standard. I got you.
Priority access, a free check bag. My company doesn't have to pay for, when I want to bring my suit, my jacket every week, they don't have to pay for the garment bag anymore. Like that's I think everybody wins in this scenario. I think everybody wins here.
Of course. Listen, any luxury you can have while you fly, you take it. So I know what you're talking about, man. I feel you. So it makes all the sense in the world. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. And of course, you can catch him on ESPN doing his thing. Marcel, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate you. Oh, talk to you next time.
You got it, baby. That's our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Insider Report.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
And you can order your Edge. You want the Edge? Right below, we've got the link. Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste. You know I don't mislead you when I tell you that's what it is. That's what it is. All right? Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. When they first handed me the can, they said, try it. I already had the bitter beer face on me. Okay? Keystone, right? Is the one we talked about. And why? Because I was already thinking Red Bull. And like any other energy drink that you have that, oh man, that aftertaste. I took a sip of Edge and I was like, are you kidding me? And so my real problem is I need bigger cans of Edge because the sips I take end up like I drink a can in a couple sips because it's so damn smooth. I'm telling you, man. So smooth, delicious, and zero aftertaste. So whatever energy drink you're drinking now, drop it and get the Edge so you can have the Edge every single time. Link is below. Okay. Perhaps we trade our first round to Seattle, who does not have a first round pick in 2022. They don't pick until their pick until the second round pick at 41. Yeah, but what else are they going to give us? Is the question. That's the thing. That's the question, Ming. What are they going to give us? Mr. Spock said last year Greer didn't reach like he did in 2020 with Igbenogany and Jackson, especially if this guy ends up being a backup left guard. Well, we'll find out what he ends up becoming. What I've noticed most about Tua haters is that they don't know anything about stats or football. Our late first round for Jordan Love. Why would you do that? How high are you, S. Brent? Why would you trade for Jordan Love? The fact that the Packers are going into year 3 and they have no interest in moving on with Jordan Love kind of tells you something. And listen, I'm not here to judge Jordan Love. He's only played a couple games. I didn't want him early in the first round as it is. I was on record. Many of you that wanted him told you he's too raw. You don't take him early. You take him late in the first round or second probably. And that's probably where he needed to go. But clearly he must be behind the scenes there's something there that's not convincing them because they have zero interest in moving on with him. It's kind of crazy. Really is. What about trading our first round pick I'm not trading for any wide receiver. Okay? You sign him in free agency. You don't give up a big contract and picks. That doesn't help out. Yes, Sean.
Hey, today the teams were announced that are going to be playing in UK.
Uh-huh.
Packers, the Saints, and the Jaguars. The
Okay.
Packers make the announcement. No pictures.
Oh yeah, without Rodgers
or
and Devontae Parker's pictures on it. Yes.
Adams, yeah, Devontae Adams, yep.
Yeah, right, Adams. Yeah, I know. I saw that they didn't post because they shouldn't. Because if you post Rodgers and Adams and they do leave, then you look like idiots after. Oh, look, they posted. But if you don't post it and you still have them, nobody cares. Nobody's going to tell you, well, why didn't you put Rodgers on there? Nobody cares. It's just Packers, whatever. Or they can change it after the fact. But you don't want to look like a horse's ass by putting them out there and then they're not on the team. So I understood why they did that, to cover their ass on that. So Packers, Jags, and who else are in London?
The Saints.
So what are we missing? Why are we missing one team?
There's only 3 games that were announced. 2 of them in Tottenham, and then the Jaguars playing in Wembley.
Right, I know, but we need another team to find out who the hell's going.
Oh, well, no, that's all they announced was those 3.
I know Packers, Jags, and Saints, but we need a 4th team. We're gonna have two different games. You know what I'm saying? Unless the Jags are staying there for a couple weeks and they're playing both. Is that what's going on? I don't know.
Hold on a minute. I'm trying to find out. I'm looking for more stuff, and I don't know.
That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry about it, bro. As long as it's not.
It looks like they got the Cardinals are going to.
Oh, okay.
Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
And then there's another team they're saying that's going. Somebody's saying is going to Germany.
Okay.
So
Nobody going to Russia.
Maybe there's only 3 games in the UK this year because they got the other games going on. Let me research that.
No, none in Russia, right? Last time we checked.
No, nobody's going to Russia, including the World Cup qualifiers.
Yes. No. You guys are out. Boy. That piece of crap Putin. God, you are disgusting. It's just the Kremlin, the Chinese government, North Korea, Cuba. You know, it's just there are certain governments that they're just a disgrace to humanity, to democracy. They're just giant jails. That's all those countries are. I mean, in Russia, there are people protesting left and right and getting arrested. And this idiot Putin, you know, he just wants to control the misinformation in his own country. Because he's not controlling any information outside of it. We all know what you are, dude. You're a piece of garbage. You should be killed on sight. And by the way, I tweeted this out a couple days ago. Are hackers attacking Russia? Because, you know, hackers, they're very talented people. They can make an impact. They're scary people. Don't piss those people off. But, you know, a lot of them have good intentions sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them do have good intentions. And I'm just wondering, are hackers attacking the crap out of Russia all over the world? Remember that movie Hackers with Angelina Jolie and a whole bunch of other people that I have no idea who they are? Right? And the hackers united to, you know, reverse the oil tankers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm wondering, are hackers talking to each other amongst themselves and saying, you know, they're like, how are we going to allow the Russians to treat, you know, the Ukrainians this way? Let's, wreak havoc on the government and stuff like that. I somebody sent me a little bit of an article, but I don't know. It would be nice all you hackers out there, okay? You're all so freaking talented and you speak a language that none of us understand or will ever know. Go after those bastards, please. Yes. Yes, Sean.
I have some throwback uniform news.
Oh,
Not
well.
of the Miami Dolphin variety, though. But beginning in 2023, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will bring back their creamsicle colors, their original orange and white uniforms for throwback games, as they did from 2009 to 2012.
All right. I love those. I love that. That's one of the greatest logos of all time. Not the colors. I know the color combination was pretty crappy. Okay. I get it. I totally understand that the combination was terrible. Fill in here for me a second, Sean.
I will fill in right now as stepped out. The creamsicle uniforms are coming back. I'm going to jump in the chats here. Let's see what's going on over here in the chats. Santa Rosa, football's always been about how good your O-line run game, and that'll improve your quarterback QB. Tua had the bottom of the – oops, hold on a minute. He's back. He's back.
So I know that,
look at that.
The creamsicle colors are not something that is attractive. I get it. Okay. Just notice SAP. P is P for prostitution. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, so as I digress here, and as I am a talking jersey, I understand that these were ugly colors, but the logo itself, the Buccaneer with the knife through his mouth, is still one of the greatest logos of all time. Okay. Kind of like the Patriot snapping the ball. Just a great logo. Logo's not on this jersey at all. Yeah. It says large. I'm larger. Anyway. So there you go. That's the SAP jersey. I love that logo. It's a great logo. It really is. What they should do is get the colors now and add it to that as a mix and then bring it back. Because you have to admit, the Buccaneer with the knife in his mouth is a way better logo than the logo they have now. But the colors suck. So use the colors that you have now with the older logo, and that's it. It becomes a fantastic logo. That's it. Sean, where is the wrestling news? A Wednesday, 1:00. Catch Sean talking wrestling Wednesdays. And then at night, can you explain it to him what you're going to be doing here on the show and how wrestling becomes a factor here on the program from here on out?
I will try. At night, I will jump on after the Raw, the WWE NXT, the Dynamite, the SmackDown, and Rampage, and then after pay-per-views. And, of course, WrestleMania coming in April. So maybe we'll do a pregame on that as well to get you ready for night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. But for right now, we'll just discuss what happened on those shows. But Wednesday will be a more generic type talking, not necessarily looking back at the shows, because the shows will be talked about and podcasted and everything else right after they are done each night.
That's right. And remember, hit the notification bell so you know when Sean is not just this show, but when Sean's show is on for wrestling. Now, you know, on Wednesday, the show gets expanded for a half hour. We'll be done, and then Sean will start. I'm sure he'll have a beautiful open setup for it and everything. And then he will rock and roll for half an hour, take your questions, all that. I'm sure eventually he'll add guests and all that kind of stuff. And then you can keep up with all your wrestling news. So starting on Wednesday, you will have your wrestling. Now, let me tell you something. In the middle of any of our shows, right now, you've got a question, a wrestling question, and Sean can answer it. I don't mind, dude. I have no problem. So, Sean, if you notice a wrestling question, or maybe even if I miss it, because there's so many, things coming through on the chat board, Sean can answer your wrestling question. Okay. Rosendo says, as Churchill would say, I think we might have strangled, Bolshevism in its cradle. We should send military support in 1919. Now we have to deal with the present garbage. And the present garbage is terrible. Bucks are returning back to old unis. Well, no, they're not returning. They're just going to use it on their throwbacks. That's what they're going to do. Jamie says, Big O, it seems to me that the Dolphins are more likely to place a first or second round tender on Gesicki, let him walk, and just collect the pick. What do you think? Maybe, but I don't think anybody is signing him and giving the pick. So I think you'll end up with him when it's all said and done. Important to distinguish between Russian people and Putin. Over 3,000 people protesting got arrested. Yeah, that's why I said the Kremlin. The Kremlin. The Kremlin is evil. The Russian government is evil. The North Korean government is evil. The Cuban government is evil. That's what I'm saying. It's not the North Korean people, the Russian, the Cuban people. They're innocent, man. They're born into a damn jail. What are you going to do? You can't do anything if you're born into something like that. All right, we are out of here. We will see you all tomorrow. We will be back at 10 a.m. rocking and rolling. Alarmo and I right here. Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend, that is mastering this program every single day. We thank Ira Winderman, Alan Poupar, Cameron Wolf, and Marcel Louis Jacques. We thank all of you for tuning in to 3 hours and 40 minutes of real sports talk, something you cannot get anywhere on the dial in South Florida. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. Love you all.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show.